It looks like we got everything going, and I think we got it right on the first try this time. What is up, everybody? So, today we're going to be doing kind of a fun and different thing here. We talked about this in our last stream that it was a fun bit that I did during the pandemic, which was a while ago at this point. And I have a lot of new people that a bunch of y'all haven't seen this, but I actually have old tournament footage because I used to, while I did like do a bunch of other things, I did play somewhat competitively for a long time, and I do commentary now, watching other people play at the high level. So I was like, what if I go back and find some of my old footage that's still floating around the internet, and we talk about that and just see what's up. So I figured that'd be kind of fun today. We'll see. I don't know how much people are going to enjoy it, but we'll give it a few minutes here for people to kind of stroll in before we fire it up, just so everyone can get a chance to be here in the beginning. Granted, if you're watching on YouTube, you can always go back and, you just hit the back button and you can catch up or speed up, watch it double speed, whatever it is you do. So that's always really cool. Also, while you have a second, if you're here and just popped up on your stream and you're like, who is this guy? What's he do? Well, I'm Power Dragon. I put up YouTube content literally every single day for 5.5 years. I also do commentary for stuff, hence the stream. And I do a bunch of other things. I'm on a couple of podcasts and whatnot. But while you have a chance, wherever you're watching, because we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, hit the follow button or the subscribe button and give us a little thumbs up and a like or whatever. I'd really appreciate it. It helps these types of things out so much. And don't forget, if you're watching our daily videos, if you leave a relevant comment in the videos, you're automatically eligible for our giveaways as well. So check on those if you haven't. But all right, a few people starting to stroll in here. Welcome for those of you that are just getting here. I will go ahead and switch screen. Yeah, okay. So here's how today went for me. I'm like, okay, recovering from Thanksgiving. I'm gonna take a bit. I'm gonna slow roll, take a shower, get situated, and then I go to fire up Twitch or OBS because I'm gonna stream. And I was gonna do this. I literally was gonna do this about 5 hours ago, but turns out my OBS just broke. I don't even know what happened, to be honest with you. It was the most insane thing. So literally it wasn't saving my camera settings, my audio was weird. It was just like problem after problem after problem. And I went and read all these forums, and I messaged a couple of people I knew, and like nobody could figure out what was wrong. So basically had to uninstall it completely and then start completely over. So I had to rebuild all my scenes and everything. That just took a long time, man. It was not fun. I was not happy about that. What year sets is the first match? 2012 ish. So a while ago. Like I said, these are over a decade old, almost 15 years old now. So yeah, this is gonna be a minute. Looks like some like the YouTube comments aren't getting captured in my chat, but I see you there, Reggie Turner. How's it going? So good to have you. I need to check. Let me see if it has all of my stuff on here. Oh, for some reason, it's not capturing those. It says it can't find them. That's weird. Ah, well, we will make do with what we can. Can't win them all. We will just make this the best experience we can make it regardless. But I can see all the comments just on the main window anyway, so we can keep up just the same. It'll be fine. But yeah, this is going to be something a little bit different. We haven't really done this before, so. Yeah, not only is it Young Dragon, that dragon, that version of Power Dragon, I don't even think if you look real close, I might have just start getting because I have like this weird like gray hair kind of on the left side, which for some reason my grays don't fully grow in. They just kind of stay a little bit here. And you'll see like flecks kind of the rest of the way, and then a few up here. And like if I let this grow out, you can see it on my temples a bit. But that's it. For whatever reason, for the last like 10 years, I've been waiting for the grays to come in, and they just don't. I don't know what's wrong with that. But this dragon, he's probably like, oh, I don't know, probably about 13, 14 years younger and about 15 pounds lighter. I don't know. But yeah, but I was also like at this point in time, I still had my retail store. I think just finishing. I might have still been writing for Pojo website at the time. I was running a lot of tournaments in the region. I had run my first convention like that year actually, I think. I think later this year, in that year, I qualified for the last nationals that I actually ran. I finished like third or fourth in regionals that year, qualified for nationals. And what else was going on about that time? A lot of stuff. I was sponsoring a disc golf team. I was involved with a couple of charities. I was doing a lot of stuff, man. That was a crazy, crazy time. So yeah, lots of stuff. The where that dragon is a whole lifetime away for compared to what I do now. So it's kind of interesting to see this. But at the time, these decks, if I remember right, I was playing a green white tokens aggro pile, which I think I was the only person in the tournament registering that deck. If there was anybody else, there may be one other person. And Dylan was playing a pretty stock list that was playing Primeval Titan, a bunch of red burn spells. The big thing that like if there's 13 creatures, it deals like 13 damage to all the creatures. That thing, Blasphemous Act, like he had that in his deck, like a bunch of other stuff. So this was when we sat down. We were kind of expecting this was going to be a rough matchup for me from the get go. Like we just even in playtesting, I'm like, I can win this matchup, but I had to play very carefully to even have a shot in these matches. And we knew that just from testing. So kind of is what it is. The interesting thing though here is I've always been extroverted, obviously, a talker, and this was a little bit of a weird thing because this is kind of old school Star City. So the way they would set it up is they had like instead of being in a fully sequestered area, it was kind of just like stanchions around with, and you can kind of see it behind us with their logo kind of draped over the thing. And then the crowd could just come around. So they're all within just a couple of feet of the table, which doesn't bother me necessarily. But I was also aware that people were here to kind of have fun and relax and be part of it. So I'm kind of joking and talking with the crowd and having a good time. And I'm just asking Dylan a bunch of questions and, trying to just be friendly. And you'll probably see this. I don't know if it got captured in the video, but at the time, I could tell Dylan wasn't as comfortable. This was probably like his first feature match or whatever. And at this point, I've probably done this not a ton, but it's I don't know, probably like my 10th, 12th time being in a feature match. But again, my job, I was mostly public anyway, so it didn't bother me. But for him, I could tell he was getting kind of. So you'll probably see me. You might see my demeanor change. 'Cause I do remember like backing off a little bit of like, oh, he's like recognizing he's uncomfortable. So I'm like, okay, let me cool it a little bit. I'll just talk to one or two people that I know that are watching for a second while he's shuffling, and then we'll get into the game. So, and that's just kind of being courteous to your opponent. I know some people are like, you should play mind games and get into the head. Like, I'm not trying to do all that. Like, I just want people to have a good time. So, and to be honest, Dylan was great. I think I played Dylan twice in bigger tournaments, and I think we had one or two friends that knew each other, but we weren't close necessarily. But the few conversations I had with him, he was a nice guy for sure. So this will be a fun match. I don't even know how long this is actually. How long does this match even go? Is it? I don't even know. Like hold up a second. I need to check because now I'm curious. Because
Ori Swift rocking the.
That's not even what I'm looking for here. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know how long this is. Oh, it's like 30 minutes. Okay. So these two this one will be 30ish minutes and then there's another one that I think is roughly the same amount of time. So we'll do those, we'll review them or whatever and then we'll kind of come back to stuff. Reading the room isn't something everyone can or chooses to do. Kudos, respect. Yeah, and that's one of those things where I grew up doing a lot of competitive things. I wasn't necessarily great at all of them, but I did a lot of them, right? Whereas like playing basketball, running track, football, I did band related stuff, jazz stuff, just a whole bunch of things. So I kind of get the idea of the competitive mentality or whatever, but I also know some people take it too far, right? Now, don't be wrong. If we were playing for, I don't know, I guess technically we were playing for a lot of money because I think whoever won this was like a win and in next round. And I'll tell you this, I didn't make top 8 of this event. I think I finished like 14th or something. But it was one of those things where if we were playing for like world championship money, then like maybe I would have been a little more, at least, I don't know what the right word is, not aggressive, adversarial, maybe. But that's not what we're doing here. Like, yeah, prize money's nice, but I don't want to win because my opponent had a super negative time. Like he was just couldn't think straight and just bumbled around and made a bunch of bad plays. Because at the end of the day, even if I win, everybody's watching and they're just going to be like, well, yeah, you won, but your opponent played like crap. So the win gets tainted because this was live streamed at the time. So I don't know, a few thousand people were watching or whatever. So like you kind of want to get a good game out. Like if I'm going to win, at least win on my own merits when everybody's watching. I know some people say that a win's a win and they don't care, but a personal thing, I guess. I don't. I guess I grew up playing Uno enough with family that like I've seen how people can get, and it's just not necessary. But anyway, let's get into this. A few of y'all have already strolled in here. Welcome. I'm Power Dragon. If you don't know, you should follow me on YouTube. I put up stuff every single day, literally for 5.5 years. We have tons of new videos up. We have a new deck building series, and I'm actually doing part 4 in that series. I'm hoping it comes out on Tuesday, I think. But yeah, either way. Also, don't forget, if you play Arena, go hop on Arena and get your discounted gold right now. It's like 50 gold to get 550. And it's weird because I made a post about that and I put it in one of the Facebook groups and I put it on Blue Sky. Inevitably, I have people going, I don't know why you're out here peddling that crap. I'm like, man, whatever. If people play Arena, all you talk about all these companies taking stuff from you. At least this time they're giving you something. Go get it. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to help people out. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hit play, and then I'll pause here and there, just to kind of give narrative to what's going on, because I mean it's kind of the whole point of this, I guess. But oh, it's definitely a young power. It's a 13-year ago young Power Dragon, almost 14 years ago. But yeah, let's hop into it.
Fiend Hunter maybe.
And y'all should be able to hear that, I think.
Matchup. Elishnorn, not particularly. It's fine. Probably, I don't know if he'll be able to cast it. Now, on the other hand, Dylan has combust.
Now, here's what's funny: the guy doing commentary, the first guy you heard speaking, Sam Stoddard, Small World Scenario. He was working at Wizards at the same time I was working at Wizards later, so he was doing commentary on one of my matches, and then we ended up being coworkers at Wizards of the Coast, which I thought was pretty funny.
This matchup,
no question.
And Blasphemous Act.
Really?
Boy. Yeah, Blasphemous Act.
Oh my goodness.
That might just kill some humans.
Yeah, and see, they're talking about the Blasphemous Act that we knew was there.
All right, so
and I think Dylan gets to go first here.
Who won the die roll?
But
we have Dylan won the die roll.
So
yeah, he did
Dylan
won.
Die roll, presumably on the play. I don't think you want to be on the draw this matchup.
I don't know if you want to be on the draw in standard.
Yeah,
that was true at the time. There was a lot of good aggro decks.
Like,
that's for
play. And then a lot of pros in limited are like, no, you want to draw.
The reason I remember him going first is because when I play this, like what you just saw, it was like insta mulligan. I looked at my hand and just went like, "Yep, I'm good."
Less consistent, where you just want to be up a card, and any format you mulligan a lot, you really want to be on the draw because mulliganing.
Yeah, and if you notice here, this is what I'm talking about. If you notice how when it first showed me, I was kind of like smiling or whatever, and then here, it was like, okay, I decided to rein it in a little bit, so I wasn't making Dylan uncomfortable because he was starting to get a little frazzled.
And it looks like Dylan is going down to 6.
Now, what does that do for him as more of the control?
I don't remember Dylan mulliganing. That's funny. I guess he did.
I think that he is in a better position to go down. He has just having Primeval Titan to sort of go over the top and to regain card advantage is really important.
Sure.
I don't want to be stopping this a lot, but I'm trying to give context to a lot of this. But
okay, so they're even on 6.
one of the things that's funny
Oh, only Daquan
Excuse
mulligan.
us.
about all
okay.
this is that almost every time I played a feature match in one of these like Star City events or regional tournaments or whatever, I was almost always the underdog because people would look at my decks and just be like, well, I guess he's going to be at a disadvantage because of XYZ or whatever. Because like nobody knew, and I'm playing all these random cards a lot of times. So people are like, how do you win this match, right? So it's kind of crazy that was just a consistent theme for me when I was playing competitively.
So
Yep.
wow, and he's going back.
Back to
wow,
five.
he's going to
Oh, man.
5.
Which kind of is interesting because it sort of
anytime you're the
translates to me
beat
doing
down and you
content now,
mulligan,
just
that's
making a lot of
huge
weird
advantage.
decks
Now
and
we
stuff.
saw 2 rounds ago, the guy who was playing green red, he mulliganed.
No, it's
to
funny. You
5 all
say
3
I
games
look
and won
locked
the match.
in, but the truth is, I actually am
And
pretty
what we deem to be a
relaxed. I
pretty
don't
bad matchup.
really
So
get too
That's
worked up
insane.
at
It was
tournaments.
pretty
And I think it's
insane.
just because
Now,
having a
I
history
think
of doing
that,
other competitive
as
things with
most
like
times you have
crowds
sort
and
of,
audiences,
a matchup like this where
it just doesn't
I believe
get
where
into
Daquan
my nerves
has
anymore.
to be more proactive. The mulligan is a lot worse for him. He just doesn't have the ways to recover the card advantage. All he really has.
Oh, now
is,
see, here's what's
if
funny.
he
I
can
remember
stick,
this
like, a
deck,
hero
and there's
blade
like, oh, he
hold
doesn't have a way to
essentially
get
recovers
card advantage or whatever. Like,
especially
Yeah.
no,
if
my
his
card
opponent can't
advantage
block
was
it, but
we're gonna every
things
card
like,
floods the
having
board with
4 birds and
tokens.
4 Abyss and Pilgrims. When you mulligan this far down, if you get too many of those, it's pretty rough. Like
Turn 1
if you can
Pilgrim.
stick
Taps.
something
It's
big
a
on
green
turn
creature
3,
that taps for a white mana.
then
Yeah.
he'll be fine. Like if you stick a Mirror Crusader.
And
he'll be in
then this
great
is the
shape. However,
2/1
his
with
doesn't go that well,
Undying or
then
whatever.
he's
When it
gonna
goes to the
it's gonna be a
graveyard, it comes
real-
back with like a
real hard game for him.
+1/+1
So we see
token.
Dylan open up on turn 2 with a Strangler Geist. Daquan on turn 2, Mirror
Mirror
Crusader.
Crusader,
Yeah.
that is
So
humongous
I
in
should
this
have
matchup.
set up my
Okay.
overlays so I
really
could put
want
the
that
cards up
on,
here for y'all.
3.
I didn't even think
Well,
about
reminds me
that.
to untap his,
'cause these are old
Strangler
cards.
Geist that is
Oops.
not attacking.
Mirror Crusader, the card I just cast is, I believe, a 2/2 with first strike and protection from green and black. I think are the 2 colors it has protection from. And it has some other text, but that's the important part here. Playing against actually, red and green is what I've tried. But anyway, playing against a red-green deck, which is why they were main deck in this matchup.
Then
Or
we
in this
have
format,
Dungrove
I should
Elder,
say.
believe,
Dungrove Elder
which
seems
is
fine.
a
2/2?
2/2.
Yep. So
And
Daquan
Dungrove Elder is
draws,
larger,
drops.
equal to the number of forest you
Is
control.
that Gavany Township?
I think that's another Razor.
Yes.
Vine
Nope,
ticket.
you're right.
Well, Donna says, think you're one of the most laid-back people I've
Pilgrim
ever
number
played
2.
against in Friday Night Magic
So
or other
Daquan's not
tournaments.
having any mana
That's
problems
probably
today.
true.
I'm not sure if you attack there or not.
Like, quick aside, funny story. I used because back in Texas, you didn't have legalized gambling or poker at all until recently. So I would have to go to these like little poker houses and stuff to play in private clubs. And there was one I was playing at, and one night a guy catches like a 3-outer on me or something, and it was like a mid-sized pot, like $200 or something. And I was just like, that sucks. And I was tossed my cards in, and the guy just slams the table, and he's like, God damn it, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, dude, you won. Like, I didn't, and I'm thinking I wasn't angry. I just like tossed him in or whatever. And he's like, that's not the point. Just one time I want to see you get mad about something. And the whole table lost it. And I'm just like, man, I don't know. You catch your card, you catch your card. Like, because ultimately, especially when you're playing poker, you want people to be drawing it 3 outs. If they just hit it, they hit it, But I remember that'll always stand out. I just remember thinking that was super funny.
I could see it either way.
I think it probably depends on what's in his hand.
Now, if Daquan goes untap, sword, equip, well,
Yeah.
then you obviously serve. But
Yeah, the
That's
swords
pretty
were a
right. And it
big
looks like
part of
Dylan has
this
another
format
Strangler
too.
Geist. And
Sword of
what's
black
this-
green,
see, like,
sword
the
of
thing now is that
red
because
white.
he has 2 Strangler Roots, he can play the 3rd one and just serve with all 3. One's gonna die, but that's fine. It's got.
All I was thinking about with this match
Right,
was
right.
Gets him to
how
4.
fast does he
Yep.
get a Primeval Titan,
so
and then what's my
Dylan
game
weighing
plan
his
once it's on the
options at this point.
battlefield?
He doesn't know how aggressive. Like, I imagine he feels he can be somewhat aggressive in this matchup right now because
Yeah, he used to have gambling shacks,
At the
that's
same time,
true.
Mirror and Crusader is such a big issue for him.
Right. I mean, maybe he just sort of turtles up a bit, and if Daquan doesn't want to attack, he doesn't have to attack.
Yeah, getting that Mirror Crusader was big
So we
here,
see
though.
Strangler
It really
Geist number
slows the
2
opponent
for
down.
Dylan Temple.
Oh, he's gonna attack
Cracking with
anyway
both.
here. I don't. Oh yeah, I guess he did attack here.
I imagine he'll block one. I don't think he's gonna chump the other one, but you never know.
The reason
Possible. I
this
don't
takes me a while
necessarily
to
think that's
block
a
here
great
is I was
play,
actually
but-
debating
He
if
doesn't
I
have a
wanted
whole
them to
lot
stay
do
as
with
2
mana
power
when he
or
when,
move to
as
3
mana
power.
gets up there, so
Sure.
Because I was thinking about what other creatures I could draw to block them in the
He does have
future,
Gathering
but
Township in his deck.
I just decided to block to save life
So we
total.
see, looks like
probably just blocking the 1, it looks like.
Reasonable.
Taking 2, going down to 16.
Could have also threw a 1/1 in front of one of
And
them,
that
but
Stringer
I wanted
Guy's
the
gonna
mana
come
because
back
a
and
lot of my
count
like
the
my
count.
planeswalkers and things I believe were
What do you
5
think
and
of
6
Undying
mana,
in constructed?
which is
Do
why
you
I was
like it?
playing those and Birds of Paradise and other stuff
On
in
my
that
side of
deck.
the board, I love it. On my opponent's side, I do not like it at all.
Which is probably the hallmark of a good mechanic, really. If you love to have it and hate for them to have it.
Well, I mean, I think it really has affected Standard because it makes Wrath of Gods that much worse. And he is tapping 5, maybe for
There it
Elspeth.
is,
Oh,
Elspeth Tyrell.
okay.
Wow, the Singleton Elspeth. That
Seems
is
fine.
humongous here.
So, you're Daquan Watson in this scenario. You have 3 creatures on the battlefield already, and you're just like, it's cool. I'll take 3 more.
Yeah, you get the creatures. Now you have the opportunity to swing with your Mirror Crusader, which he does not do.
Yep.
Yeah,
so-
and I
wow.
get it why they
Yeah, I
assumed
really
I,
thought
would
he'd
attack
attack
there. In hindsight,
Seems a
it probably
little-
was good.
Passive on Daquan.
I would be
But-
a little scared. I'd be a little afraid.
I was
on
kind
his
of trying
side
to
that,
make sure that he just
if
didn't
Dylan can
attack
stick a
because I
Primeval
figured
Titan in the next turn.
if next turn he had the mana for a
gonna
Primeval
work for us.
Titan,
Sure.
I
it's,
I wanted as much
honestly, he
life
doesn't
if
know
I was going to
exactly what
possibly
his
have to
opponent's
deal
playing.
with
If he
it.
thinks he's playing the red-green aggro deck, then I can definitely see making that play.
Right.
Because he does have the
but
red-green
as
land
it
that,
is,
or the land you
it-
can
it
tap
could
to
get real
give
dicey for him
something
if he,
trample or
if he's
whatever,
not
which was
attacking
also
here.
a problem.
He's not putting any clock on Dylan,
Right.
and he doesn't have enough swords to really to press it so hard. Well, I guess he's got 3 War and Peace, but
Sure.
he's got no
not
Peace
a
or Famine or
ton.
anything. Yeah.
So he has.
Now, fortunately, he
this
didn't
Elspeth
have the
Tyrell
Primal
on
Titan,
2 loyalty
and he just
now,
had to
but
go like Rampant Growth or
nothing's
whatever
really
the
gonna
equivalent
connect
spell was at the
unless he
time
wants,
to
well,
go get a
he can't
forest.
even Wolf Run to trample over.
He might be able to if he has enough. Well, he can't this turn because he played all that stuff, but next turn he
Right.
can definitely.
So is that
if
2
he
Dungrove
wants to,
Elders
Wolf
and
Run
2 of the
over
2/1 guys?
over
The
whatever it
Geist?
is,
Sure, sure.
and try and kill that Elspeth.
So we see a second Dungrove Elder for Dylan Temple before passing the turn. Daquan has 6 creatures on the battlefield.
Yeah, now
He
I had a
has
lot of
Elspeth
decisions
on
to
2
make
loyalty.
because
He's
Elspeth
not
could also
hurting for
gain you
mana
life, I
at
think,
all.
for the number of
And
tokens you
Dylan,
had.
a
Like,
lot of times when you
there was a bunch of
see,
stuff I could
these
do
sort
on
of
this
mono
turn.
green decks, he has 6 lands out. You would expect Dungrove to be larger than 3/3,
Right, right.
and that's pretty. That could become a problem if he doesn't. If he plays a Primeval.
Yeah,
Titan
now
next
I'm just like, whatever, I'll attack, take
you
your
know,
4
2 fours or
with the
something,
double strike
that
and
does become
2/2.
really, really powerful. But as it is,
And there's another one.
ooh, a second
Oh,
Mirror
Crusader number 2 and a Birds.
Yeah, so these Crusaders are getting.
And I
pretty
wouldn't
lethal.
normally play the Birds of Paradise,
So it
but since
looks
I was
like
going to like
Daquan is
take up
gonna tick
Elspeth and get the
Elspeth
life
up
or
and
whatever, it's like,
gain-
yeah, just get the extra point.
8 times 2, 8 life, go up to 24.
Yep, it is not looking great for Dylan here. That second Mirror Crusader really shortens the clock down a lot.
No question.
All right,
And
is
it
this
looks
where
like he's
Primal
probably-
Titan
he's
shows
gonna
up?
cast Primeval
So there's
Titan.
It
prime
is,
time.
okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Dylan here, it looks like at this point he's probably going to want to win through.
Yeah,
Ink
Primal
Moth
Titan's a
Nexus.
hell of a magic
Right.
card, man.
Yeah,
That thing's
if
crazy.
he can get one swing with Primeval,
Even
maybe
back
that's not
then,
enough.
the whole
But,
game was just about like, okay,
he
how
doesn't
soon
have
does
that much
Primal
longer,
Titan
so we
hit,
got
and
two,
can I deal with it for a couple
2
turns?
turns left.
And
Those Mirror Crusaders, they pack a punch.
and Daquan does actually have outs on Ink Moth Nexus. He has Dismembers, he has Mortar
Yeah.
Pods, which
Yeah.
could shut it down.
Yeah, I really like his position right now.
Yeah, my build
So
was
Quans.
absurd.
Yeah, wow. I mean, do you think
Like they're listing the
is-
cards on my deck. I was
was
like,
Dylan
God,
a
I
little
did
too
play all those
passive?
bad things.
to
No,
start, do you
I
or-
think Dylan played it fine. I think that Mirror Crusader is a big problem. And he just happened to
I
sort of
don't know
draw
why.
a
I
land
remember the
mix-up
sideboard
that
games
meant
being
his
weird
Dungrove Elders not able to
because
attack through the Mirror Crusader.
oh, because I think he brings in a
If
bunch
he
of
had
burn
five
spells or something.
5 forests in play, for instance, and with 2 Dungrove Elders and 2 Stringer Root guys, he can just swing in there. And Daquan can only, kill a Stringer Root guys. He can't actually kill a Mirror Crusader, or a Dungrove Elder,
Yep.
right? But
Yeah, here I'm just doing math.
The
So
mix-up
I'm
is
staring
not
at the
quite
board
right.
going like, okay, if I
First, the
attack
mana
with a bunch of
base.
I
stuff,
think Daquan was probably
and
a
he
little
goes down to
too
like
passive with his
12 or
Mirror
10,
Crusaders
can I
first
kill
point.
them the following
Probably.
turn?
But
Like, how many
at this
things on
point,
his
he
side are
could-
going to
he
get
could have
trample?
Dylan dead this turn.
Mhm.
But Dylan does not.
Yeah, and there's a lot here because like Primeval Titan tramples on its own, and then he has the land that could give something trample. So, and he has a ton of mana already. So it's like, okay, I'm doing the math on if Primal Titan comes over, what lands is he playing that might trigger something? And then if I block, I'm blocking with 1/1s or 0/1s. So basically all of something else, which is probably going to be like a Dungrove Elder is going to come through. So I'm trying to figure all this out before I even make my next play, which is kind of crazy.
Not have Inferno Titan, does not have anything like that, and so barring drawing a Wormcoil engine, there is not a whole lot he can really do this game.
Oh, what little they knew.
Skull maybe buys him a little bit of time.
The Crusaders got pro
green, yeah.
pro green and
I
black.
have many things.
So it's got it's got Batter Skull protection as well. He's I think he is just on War and Peace doesn't do it. War and Peace on the
And I have my own little guys.
might have enough on the Primeval Titan to trample over.
So it looks
Probably
like
not.
it looks like Daquan drops Strangleroot Geist, ticks up, or
Yeah.
nope, rebuys the soldiers on Elspeth.
Yep.
Yep, he is just gonna.
Holy crap, that's a lot of soldiers.
I just wanted all the
He's
blockers.
just gonna block whatever.
No problem.
And Dylan does
Wow.
not have. Yeah, he just doesn't have a block draw. Now he does get a block for a 1 turn with the Inkmoth Nexus,
Sure.
so he is not completely.
But he is
out
down
of
to 8 already.
I mean, it's that's a turn, but
Well, he can attack with Primeval Titan, get 2 more Ink Moths, and sort of only has 2 Ink Moths.
yeah. So he gets
Oh,
one
boy.
more. That's a little bit of a delay, but
Yeah.
And that's also the other reason to
Not
have
really.
the tokens.
And he's
Is
just
that
not gonna
depending
have
on
enough
how he
mana
attacks,
to,
I can
survive.
block
He's
enough
not gonna
to
have enough
also
mana
use
to,
the tokens to
make
finish
those
him off.
guys lethal.
Even if he does
so
block
Dylan Temple
one of my
Alpha Strikes here
my knights.
does not crack with the Inkmoth Nexus.
No, well, he can't. He's got
Yeah,
a
he's
hold
gotta
one
block.
block to
Yep.
hold him back to block those Mirror Crusaders.
Sure.
If Daquan
If I
can
remember
attack,
right,
it's
I
gonna be
spend a
pretty
long
hard for him to
time
lose.
Checking out my blocks here.
So
Because this is
The only
basically
hope I
all
think
the
Dylan
combat
has
math
is
I was
having a
doing
second
last
Primeval
turn.
Titan.
Like I figured this
What
was
does
going to
that mean
happen,
for
so
him?
now it's like,
Well,
okay,
he's
now
able
that
to
he's doing it,
block, one
can I
Mirror
block in a
Crusader.
way
The second
that
Primeval,
dictates where
Titan
he
would
will
have-
spin the trample
have
damage,
enough
basically?
lands to next turn really be able to use that the Kessig Wolf run to probably get over for enough damage. With,
But yeah, there was a
the
lot I had to
Inkmoth
figure out
Nexus.
here. of Just like,
sure.
even if he just goes, well,
Well,
let me just make
it's-
something
I mean, it's
trample
looking
for like
grim.
4, does he
It's
have
not
something that he could
looking very
burn
good
me
for
with or
Dylan
whatever?
Temple right now,
Yeah.
but we don't know what's in their hands right now.
Because the Primeval Titan, he now has
It
so
could
much
be
mana.
something
I
that's
think
gonna
like, was
save
that
Dylan,
9 or
but-
something that's on the battlefield?
Yeah, but it all comes down to how this block goes.
Mhm.
Whether or not he tries to, I think you pretty much have to kill the Primeval Titan.
Yeah, this is a for real example of math is for
And
blockers.
I don't know
Because
where
I
the
did
attacks
so
go,
much
if anything's
math
coming out Elspeth or
here.
not. That's pretty relevant too.
Right.
It was both a
Elspeth
bit of
is
math
at, I
and
believe,
prediction
2
of
loyalty
Yeah,
right
two.
now.
what cards do I
So
think he
not a
has
huge shot. All it's going to do is
that he could
gain
also
Daquan
play if he
more
doesn't
life.
max trample.
Right. Well, that's the thing is that. If
And then
nothing's
can
coming
I
out
hold
Elspeth,
on to
you're less
enough
inclined to block
tokens
with
that
other
if he
tokens.
blocks one
Right.
of
You're
my
just gonna
Mirror
regain all that life
Crusaders
next turn.
that I could
Sure,
still
sure.
attack
Where
for the
if
win?
everything's coming, whatever. If more stuff's coming in Elspeth, you probably want to stop some of it, or just let Elspeth die and use those.
Yeah, they're
sort
fun.
of
They still do them.
chump
I mean,
everything
all
that's
the
floating around.
Open Series events, a lot of those are run by
Tricky
Star City
combat
Games.
here for
There's still
Dylan and Daquan.
Nerd Rage
Strike
Gaming,
Root
the
guys
NRG
with the
series.
counters,
They run a
block
bunch
by
of
at
cash
least one
tournaments.
token. I think he's
So like they're
thinking about
still
more.
out there.
I think 2 at least is probably good. Unless you just want to throw enough power in front of the Primeval Titan to actually deal with it.
right.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to
And
throw a
that's
bunch of stuff in front of
and
a
that's
Primeval Titan.
excluding,
I'd
you know,
already, in my
maybe
brain,
those
I'm
are
just like,
dismembering
Titan's going to
Daquan
do whatever
Watson's
Titan's
hold,
going to
we
do.
don't know,
That's why I
but-
gained the extra life. We'll just deal with it.
So
The other thing here, too, that messes up the math
not
is if I
blocks,
block one of the Strangleroot guys,
I don't
they come
know.
back
Might be
untapped.
blocks.
So that's the other thing I was
mean-
thinking about, too.
Well, I mean, because if those are blocks, as long as I think he's trying to make sure that he doesn't have enough to actually kill him with the Wolf Run,
right.
and he's just going to block just that much, so that the rest of his creatures, along with the 2 Mirror Crusaders, will kill Dylan.
Yep.
Yeah, you notice I'm
looks
doing like the horse
like
taps. I'm like
Dylan
tapping the
could go
table and
Wolf
counting a
Run for,
bunch.
is that 7? 6, 7? No,
Yeah.
he can go in for 6.
And see, and this is what
Something that
surprised
does
me
go over
because
a
he
lot.
also
Wow.
tapped his land that would have left
Well,
him
see,
the
Daquan
Inkmoth
did the
Nessus to
math
block
right when he
with next
blocks.
turn. And this doesn't kill me. So I was literally, I thought he had another plan.
But if he pumped that much, it looks like he didn't do the math right. And
But I was
he
just
is
like, yeah.
dead to this.
Yeah, wow.
I
So there was
think
that thing
you're
where
right.
like I'm
He's,
confirming, like, hey, I blocked, my guy's coming
He
back.
does
Like,
that. He's just,
are we
not
good?
on board.
Yeah, right.
He can't block with Inkmoth.
Yeah, the 2 Mirror Crusaders kill him here
There are
because they're just
a
4
lot
power
of
double
units on the
striking.
table for Daquan Watson. He just kind of.
Yeah, I literally just
Yeah,
make the motion of
alternatives
like,
for
then I just attack with everything because like I don't know.
GG. We go on game 2.
I guess,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm
you're
wondering
just in that
in
situation with
hindsight, now that
Dylan,
I'm looking
and
at
his
this
only real
again,
out is,
I'm not sure if
Daquan
either
blocking
Dylan did the math
incorrectly, and he
wrong
blocked, you know,
or he expected me to block
well enough
differently or
that
maybe give up
his
enough
only
creatures
out
that
is-
I couldn't kill him. Like I don't know.
Yep, and that.
What do you thought was going
I
to
mean,
happen there?
I'm not very good at playing the magical cards, I gotta admit, but even I.
But
I'd
again,
be like, yep,
he
just turn
also,
all these
like I said, to
sideways.
start the
I
match,
have
like he was also
many more
kind of
guys, you
nervous
have
and
a
wasn't
life
used to the
total,
people
so,
being around. So
yeah,
I mean, it could have
don't
just
think
been
I don't think you're blocking
a
properly.
thing where,
either,
because I've
so-
done it before. Hell, even when nobody's been
All
watching,
right,
you know, just
so,
playing arena games where you think you have it figured out,
Yeah,
and
we
then
saw
right
the
after you hit the
green
button, you
aggro
kind of go
win
like,
game
oh,
one.
that's
Mirror
crazy.
Crusader was gigantic.
Bizmaster
that game.
Studio says, love
You know,
the YouTube
pretty
videos. Great to
single-handedly
find you
won
on
the
Twitch.
Yeah, no
thanks.
question. That was, I mean, it
Appreciate
was
it.
literally, I think, turn 2 Crusader,
Turn
and
2
then
Crusader.
Oh, I forgot
either
to add
turn
my
3 or turn
overlays
4
on.
Crusader
If some of
to
y'all
follow.
are
Like,
subscribing
Yeah.
or
what a
whatever,
great
I appreciate it. I
opening
won't be
hand
able to
for
hear
Daquan
them right now.
Watson. Like, that just causes so many.
I had to
problems.
rebuild all my OBS
So,
stuff, so it
looking
should
at
be fixed
sideboards
when we go
now,
streaming on again on Sunday, I think.
You know, I think Dylan has the sideboard advantage. He's got Combust, and Blasphemous Axe.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot.
Those are gonna be a
I knew
huge
the
problem.
Combust and
You
the
can bring in another
Blasphemous
Battle
Act were in
Skull,
those
he's got
decks.
A bunch of swords to bring in.
Yep.
So that
And,
becomes a
you know,
problem of just like,
you're looking at,
how do we
Daquan's
stay
deck.
aggressive with our
He
stuff
doesn't-
getting
he just
picked
doesn't
off?
seem to have as much in this matchup. He's,
No.
You know, Celestial Purge isn't hitting anything. You know, Dylan's not even playing
Red permanents.
any red permanent. He's not playing the Huntmaster Fells.
Right.
So you know, Elish Norn, if he can resolve an Elish Norn, it's
What was
great.
I doing? Who
That
was
would
I
be pretty
texting?
significant.
I'm in the
Yep,
middle of
you
a
gotta get
match.
to that point.
Wasn't? Oh, it was probably a
So, I
business
don't
thing,
know. It's,
actually.
And I'm not
I probably
really
looked at
sure,
Justin and was like, hold up, I need to respond to a
what
business. I
Daquan
think
brings
that's
in
what
here.
happened
Probably
there.
Fiend Hunter. Fiend Hunter seems fine.
Yep. Now,
Maybe more naturalizes.
yeah, that seems correct as well. Now, why doesn't Dylan Temple have Huntmasters in this deck? I thought Huntmaster was like the hot big card now.
You know it is. I don't know why. I actually.
I think
would
right
like
there,
him in
I
this
think
deck.
that was Dylan going
He's,
like,
at least one.
damn,
he's
I
got
thought I
four
had you with all that
Green
damage
Sunkeepers,
and the
there are
trample or
definitely
whatever.
times
And I was
that
like,
I would like to see that.
good
card.
thing I'm good at math. I think that's what I told
Maybe
him.
it's a
But
card access issue. I don't know, but
You know-
that just seems like something you want.
Yeah, I don't think it's card axes. I think maybe it's just.
all right, I'm
only
gonna skip
got
ahead a little
two
bit because we're just
mounts. He
sideboarding
doesn't
here.
wanna,
I'll get to the next chunk of action.
Gonna
matchup where flip.
definitely
Let's
want.
see what we got.
So if you
'Cause
know,
we have still have
you're-
another
you're
match
building
to
a green
watch
red
after
aggro
this
deck like this
Telling you about
of this Swiss.
very long GPs used to be.
I wish 60 so much.
It was GP high four.
Man, did we use the
This
whole
game
sideboarding time there? Jeez,
I
that was
played
a
in
lot.
Dredge and I'm just like,
I don't remember that.
oh, this is so cool.
Spent so much
Elish
time
Norn is a
talking to
great
him, I
card.
totally forgot.
It's so much fun.
Hey, Grizzly
Yes, on
gentlemen,
your
how's
side,
it
Not so
going?
much on your opponent's side.
Yeah.
Dylan leads off of the forest. Daquan, I imagine, will match
Razor
him.
Verge thick.
Yep,
Either
I had a
game,
million mana
a
creatures in that
one-drop.
deck,
This
so
Same opening as last game.
I was almost
Yep.
always gonna
One
have
drop.
one turn one.
Striker
Oh,
guys.
I remember
Same
how this
opening as
match
last
goes.
game.
Okay, there's a weird play that
Daquan has a
happens
Mirror
in 2
Crusader.
turns, I think.
That might get rough for Dylan.
Yeah.
It looks like in his hand, he
Oh.
does have a combust.
Yep.
Mirror Crusader. Now Dylan has a mount and a combust.
But he had the
So,
answer here to the Mirror
All right.
Crusader this time
Not
because
the
it's
same
not
as last
protection
game.
from
Gotcha.
red.
Yeah. He is.
Wow.
All right.
He is very happy to have those in his
So I take
sideboard.
2. I go to
No
16.
This is probably not the matchup he was thinking about.
Now the thing
when he
is,
put
I
those in
was
his
happy he
sideboard,
used the
but
combust on that
right.
because
format
we
can't be
had
good. This is
this
either
guy.
Eric or Hero of Blade.
Hero.
Hold.
Hero
Oh,
Blade
sure.
Hold. It's a big
Yeah,
3/4,
that's
and when it
just
attacks,
fine.
it makes
About
2
that.
additional
That card's not good at
1/1s,
all, is it?
and they each
No.
get it gives
Whatever.
all the other attackers +1/+0.
Yep. Dylan does not have a second combust.
So like,
It
while
looks like he
losing
played a
Mirror and
Dungar
Constrainer hurt,
Elder.
getting
Dungar
the
Elder
Hero
and a
Blade
Stranger
Hold was
guy.
huge here.
So now Daquan has a question: does he attack into both of those? He'll be able to. Well, be able to kill one of them.
He can trade it for the Dungrove or the Strangler Root, whichever.
Right. He can trade it for the Dungar, which isn't horrible. He still gets 2 tokens out of the deal.
Yep,
Right.
and I am on board with that
But,
plan.
you know, maybe
I
he
will
just wants
trade
to
for
wait
your biggest creature and
see
still
if he
have
can't get
more
a count
creatures
shift,
left
see if he
behind.
can't get an
Because the way
O-ring
this
and
deck was built,
dismember.
all it cared about
Something
was
else
just
we get a little
having
more value out of.
bigger and bigger
Battle
board
Cry
presence.
isn't a huge thing right now, but it would definitely be a huge thing, like in the board position we saw last game,
Yeah.
where he
Yeah.
had all the.
The biggest thing I'm worried about here, though,
Yeah, I
mean,
is
any
the
turn,
Blasphemous
you know,
Act.
when he,
I'm just trying to decide, like,
when he
if
had
I commit
those,
to the
two
board, do I
Mirror
need to
Crusaders
keep
out, if he
stuff
had
back?
Battle Cry there, that
Because the more
that's,
creatures I put
takes a lot
out,
of
the
turns
cheaper
off.
Blasphemous Act gets,
that's an
and
extra
it will
4
kill
damage.
everything.
So So it looks like Daquan has Garuk
Yeah,
Reluctance in the hand.
Dylan
I think
definitely
I saw a
relaxed
peek
a
of
bit
that.
as the match went on after
And
he got a little
Daquan
more
decides it
comfortable.
is worth it.
I think like a lot of
So we're
people,
going
you
to,
just start
I
tuning things
imagine
out
that
because you
Dylan
get into
will
the
double
groove of the
block
thing you're
here.
comfortable doing.
Yep.
You know.
Double block the hero.
Wait,
Oh, no.
what?
He is
Yeah.
blocking
Okay.
tokens.
Now
Really?
I don't know if you
Apparently.
noticed
Is that correct?
when I
Am missing
attack
something?
there.
Assuming that
There's a moment where I'm like the commentators. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna attack with all these. He'll probably double block my hero blade hold. I'm gonna kill his Dungrove Elder, and then whatever's gonna happen the rest of the turn will happen, right? I'll have the 2 tokens left over. And then I actually touch my hero blade hold because I assume when he grabs his 2 creatures, that's what he's gonna block. And I'm about to say just kill the Dungrove Elder, and he shoves them in front of the 2 tokens, and I'm like, uh-oh. So it's kind of one of those things you hear me say sometimes when we're playing arenas. When your opponent makes a play that's so different than what you expect, you kind of start going like, well, why is that? And so I was thinking like, was he sideboarding maybe, whatever red spell that like steals a creature, does a thing, something weird? Because I'm like, why would you not just kill the hero blade hold here? So yeah, so that definitely threw me for a loop for a second.
that is actually Dungrove Elder. I would not do that. I mean, maybe he's worried about a trick or something, but that is not how I would have played that personally.
Huh.
Yeah,
so
then here
Dylan's going to go to 17.
I get a
off
1/1
getting
that comes
smacked
in
by
with
the
a
hero.
3/3.
Yeah, this
Daquan-
hero is really scary. This next turn, this hero is going
Yeah, I love how they zoom in on the Dungrove Elder. Like, this
Wow,
guy
yeah.
blocked a token
Wow.
and did not block the hero blade hold.
Drawing another combust. I mean, he could draw Blasphemous Act right here.
Sure.
That's
And,
literally the only card I was
crack
worried
his
about
hand
at this
wide
point,
open, but
was Blasphemous Act.
what does he have? He's got
Okay.
another bird.
Bird's fine, but where's your Blasphemous Act?
Yeah, I mean, that hero, that is going to
Yeah, the hero's worth a ton of damage here
lot
now.
of
So
damage this
every
turn.
creature that
Wow,
attacks
that's-
gets an
that's
additional
really gonna
+1
hurt.
+0. And it gets to make 2 new
Yeah,
tokens
he
when it
could've-
attacks.
He could have traded both those guys for that hero, and he did not. And
So I
now
just
he
didn't
is-
understand.
He's really going to pay for that.
So it looks like we're representing 4.
And he's sitting here with
5,
mana
8,
open, so I'm like, what? Why did you
plus
just leave me this hero blade hold? Like, what's
10
going on?
Plus, looks like we're representing about 17 damage on the battlefield right now.
Yeah.
If Daquan were to Alpha Strike. And hey, wouldn't you know it? Dylan's at 17.
And that's literally what I'm thinking about.
I
Is like,
imagine he
is
will
this where I
block.
just
That seems like
attack
the
and
correct
just
play.
But,
whatever crazy card you have,
Daquan
you
also has
have?
a careful one.
Because I can't think of anything that would matter here.
Sure.
Leaving things wide open.
What did I play
Now,
here?
I might have.
Oh,
yeah,
a Garrick.
I
Garrick.
Oh
would've
yeah,
been
the
attacking with
flip
that,
Garrick that's black on the
Absolute
backside or
also.
whatever.
Yep.
But
I forgot that
he
was
might
in
have
there.
something else in his hand. Does he have anything for 1 mana that does anything? Or I guess he could pay 2. Unless there's something off the screen that we can't see.
Well, it looks like Daquan Watson has 2 mana available to him.
Oh, he has something else.
What am I playing here?
And
Oh yeah, yeah.
dice.
So I have a
Okay,
hasty
well, that changes
guys.
things.
Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't really change things. I think
that's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, now he can block and kill the hero, but
Yeah, the damage is done at this point.
he is going to take an extra 1, 2.
Looks like 6, 7, 8, 13 damage.
Yep.
It looks
and
like.
if he had blocked last turn, that hero has 2 less tokens for 4 less damage and 1, 2, 3 less battle cry.
Yeah.
So
Once I saw the hero wasn't
Wow.
getting dealt with,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we're not losing this game.
Wow.
Because even if
Okay.
Blasphemous Act kills all our creatures,
So,
like I have planeswalkers
Dylan
and stuff
Temple
left,
is
like
hoping
we are
to
good.
draw what exactly?
Blasphemous Act.
Yep.
I think that is the only thing he can draw at this point.
He had 2 of them in his sideboard.
And
Yep.
the other reason too is
I
thinking
don't
about
think anything
Blasphemous
else
Act.
gets him out of the situation.
I
Even
also
that,
get the
he still
Strangleroot
leaves,
guys back because it comes back
still
with the
leaves a
plus one
Garrick
plus
and
one.
a
So I'd have
Strangleroot
3
guy,
from
so
the guys
certainly
plus
doesn't
being able to
come out
make
of the
wolves
woods.
from Garrick.
Not even close.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so Dylan Temple has 6 lands. He's in, but he doesn't want Primeval Titan here. Batterskull or Wormcoil, like
Those will. What is he playing?
Yep, that
Run.
wasn't
Run will not.
Yeah, Batterskull and Wormcoil would probably keep him alive for a little bit longer, but
What little they knew, even those
it's
wouldn't do it there.
ugh, he'd still be
This-
pretty far behind.
Yeah. Now, Daquan can't Alpha Strike for the win at this point.
Nope, I'm just a little short for a second.
Assuming Dylan blocks optimally, Daquan cannot
Yeah,
just.
he will only attack for
3.
3.
Yep.
So there's 2 questions. There's 2 things you can do here.
And you know what? I'm like, whatever, attack it
Garrick
anyway.
away one of your creatures and flip him. The next turn, sack a creature and go get Elish.
Granted,
Yep.
the only pause there was just
might
because
be one away from casting.
now, if
but-
he has a Blasphemous Act, I don't have any creatures because
Yeah,
I already
it's
used
four,
the
five, six.
counter
yeah,
on
you
the
wouldn't
Strangleroot
have mana for
guys.
that. So if you don't have a land, that doesn't do anything. Or you can just make a wolf.
But I can also just play Elspeth,
Elspeth Tyrell.
another token
Seems
factory.
Fine.
Hello, friend. Oh man. We are down to Blasphemous Act or no.
Seems
Just
It's
good.
good
flip that
times.
top card over.
Oh man.
Yeah, I just like randomly
flip
made
it
a
over.
wolf with
See-
Garrick just because.
And
Is it?
is it?
Is it?
He's untapping.
Is it?
He's untapping, so he's.
Yeah, that was my thought too. Same thing as the announcers. I'm like, oh, if he's untapping land, I guess.
he's
You
on-
notice I
scoop
made the
motion.
scoop thing. I'm just like, I guess there's a Blasphemous Act. And then the fact he's tapping so much mana, I'm like, that's not Blasphemous
right.
Act because that would only cost like one right
You're
now.
gonna be a little short. Spoiler alert, not gonna be enough.
So
If he could have gotten like 4 glimmer posts. there
Yeah,
you
I
go.
don't. I really,
Or-
even with
let's
Blasphemous
be
Act,
generous
I
here.
don't know if
4
my
posts
opponent
and
had
4
any outs
cloud
there
posts
because
and 4
I would have just
Vesuva.
made
Glimmer post
couple
is gonna be in
soldiers,
16.
make a
That's
wolf.
enough for this turn.
they
Next
get
turn,
one
you can
turn
worry
to untap with
about
no
resign
cards.
for the-
Basically, they'd
about
be
getting
top
the
decking,
Vesuvas
and
and
then
the,
I still get to
the
attack
cloud
with them just being
Oh
at
wait, we're
4.
not in
No, we're
Legacy.
not.
are we?
No, Elish
Not
Norn,
Legacy.
I don't
Crap.
think was
So
in that
assuming
deck.
his opponent forgets to attack,
Pretty sure it wasn't.
Dylan might have a shot in this game.
Might.
While I was making a lot of mana, Elish Norn was still
So-
But yeah,
a little
this-
rough to cast.
You know, this green white deck.
GG.
Yep.
Yep.
There we
That's just a
go.
handshake.
That was it.
Man,
Wow.
I felt Dylan was better positioned than that, and we saw the
Yeah,
the combust,
and here's
that-
here's the thing too, and this happens to me on commentary. So no shade to Sam and Nick, but uh, there were things I knew about the matchup that they probably weren't aware that I knew because I'd play tested it a bunch. I knew that was a popular deck, so it was like, all right, I already kind of have a plan on how this needs to play out or whatever. And that can happen to me as well. Like when we're doing commentary, I'm like, I don't know how much this person has played this matchup. So when they make a play that doesn't make sense, I'm like, I don't know. This is why they're some of the top players, and I'm just doing commentary. They've probably already see different lines that we don't see because they've already been through it. But yeah, let me bring up another one here. That was fun. I hadn't seen that in forever, so that was kind of cool to take another look at it. Who's that good-looking guy on the left? I don't know, but he looks like he could have been my younger brother. You just hear the commentator mentioning Elish Norn multiple times. I don't know. I could have had like a one of. I wouldn't put it past me, but it also seems like something I wouldn't put in there. Just because it would have been too slow against several of the other matchups that were available at the time. That I don't think I would have wanted to get stuck with that in my hand. But I don't know. I could be wrong. It wouldn't be the craziest thing I've ever. Oh, you want to see something crazy? Go look up the card Furnace Celebration while I'm bringing this up. I played that in the deck I qualified for Nationals with. So if you want to know the type of cards I'll go nuts playing, like even with a lot on the line, I will definitely. Oh, actually, this match has some underplayed cards in it as well. I think y'all will enjoy this, actually. Let me bring this one up.
Ori Swift, rocking the mono red.
This is the other one I could find. And this is either later that same year or early the following year. So this is somewhere around 2012 or 2013 as well. So that same time frame. Oop, why am I messing around pushing the wrong buttons over here? But yeah, so it's that same window of time, if you're curious, the window of the format where this is. Now, here's something interesting about Ori. I played Ori, I think 3 times in any type of serious tournaments, of any level. And I didn't notice at the time. I just found this out recently that Ori is actually like a world-class Scrabble player. Like I was watching something not long ago and his name came up and I was like, Ori Swift, I know that guy. And I went and looked up the picture connected to the profile and I went, oh, it's that dude. So like, it's kind of crazy. I mean, there's a lot of people in Magic that do a lot of other things, but yeah, he's apparently like a world-class Scrabble player, which I thought that was cool. Also explains why he probably likes analytical games, which is kind of funny. So the type of thing you don't really know about your opponents at the time, and I didn't even find that out for like, I don't know, 8 years or 10 years or something after the fact. Even at this point, I think this is the second time I would have played against Ori in any type of major event. But yeah,
Ori Swift rocking the mono red versus Daquan Watson on green-white aggro, and this is an all aggro all the time match.
That's right. You're not going to find any detention spears, any Jace, all the stuff that you love.
oh
Get
yeah,
outta
this
here.
has Cedric doing commentary
for
on
me.
this one.
Yeah, this is
what I
the
love.
blink and you'll miss it match, and I hope you have another one queued up. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're gonna need to be going to that mid-game one, I'm sure.
I will
Not
tell
mid-game
you,
one of
for
this
2
match,
aggro
but mid-game
decks,
of one
this
of
is
their
also
match.
a 30-minute
Um,
video. So
this red deck,
there's a lot going on
which
this
I
one.
want to be good, really bad. He's got
Hey,
I want
Reckless
it to
Shane,
be
how's it
bad
going?
and really good.
Okay. He's got Reckless Wave. He's got Stormkirk Noble, Vexing Devil, Rakdos Cackler.
Yeah, those of you
Stone
that are
Right,
subscribing and
Five
liking and
Stars,
whatever right now, I
Escapist,
really,
24
really
of them.
appreciate it.
And then
I just had to
spells
rebuild all my
Fur
stuff in
of
OBS
the
at last
Bitten. Tell me
minute,
what
so
it
I
does.
don't
Go.
have my notifications on.
Geez, I
But
know
I still
this.
thank you just the same.
You're the bitten. I'm having trouble. I
Joey,
feel I have it in my head. I feel
So,
like plus,
okay.
plus one.
So let me set the
One
stage here
red
on what's going on. So y'all are going to see a lot of cards that I'm going to have to like talk through very quickly. My deck is a green-white. Again, that's weird. I just realized I played green-white for the better part of like 12 months in big tournaments on this one. But this is a green-white humans and what's the ability where you pair 2 creatures up and then they get each other's ability? It's that thing. So I'm playing that. And Ori is playing mono red with a bunch of like unleashed guys. I think his deck is a bunch of like 1 mana stuff. I think he played the version that only played like 17 or 18 mountains or lands. I think was the version that he had. So it's kind of crazy. Reggie says Furnace Celebration looks like an older 1 mana, more expensive weapons manufacturing. Kind of at the time, there was also like the Eldrazi 01 tokens. So you could sack those for mana and then use that mana for the Furnace Celebration. And there was a bunch of little silliness that deck was doing. Shane says, you still have your basic lands from these decks? Maybe. Actually, I say that. I probably have some of the same basic land, probably not the exact ones, but I have a bunch of extra basic lands, so I probably do have the ones from there. Yeah, Donna, that's it. Soul Bond is the ability. So yeah, it's really, really cool. How do you say that? What's that? Guaxio? Is that how you pronounce that? But either way, welcome. How's it going? We are watching some of my old tournament footage and watching me commentate over the weird scenarios. Oh man, y'all are actually gonna like this match. I just remembered something that happens here that y'all are really gonna like. I don't like. It was one of those like core memory things that popped up. But yeah, this is a good one.
Enchantment +2/+2 creatures attack each turn if able.
Oh,
Come on, Joey.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
See,
fun
I
one.
can't remember. That's not a card I would play,
That's definitely
and it's not a card that people
Now-
play against me.
That's-
I also
Definitely
want to
not a
say,
card memory.
if you notice, it's kind of empty behind us, and the reason is I believe this round, whoever wins was gonna finish top 16. So we're already at, like the end of the day. I'm pretty sure this is, if not the last, if it's not the last round, it's the second last round, but I think it's the last round. So winner here, basically we're playing like a $150, $200 ante match, like something like that. So, winner's getting extra cash basically. So there is actual stakes for this match, but if you're ever wondering like, why is there nobody in here? Like, that's why. This was at the Fort Worth Convention Center, I believe is where this was held, in their main auditorium space, which is why you see what looks like stadium seating kind of in the back. But yeah, so we were there all weekend. This is like Sunday evening, probably around 4 or 5 o'clock, I think. So yeah, just to kind of set the stage, so I know what you're looking at.
Nobody plays mono red.
There's also some Searing Spear, some Brimstone Valley, some Pillar of Flames, and 19 Mountains, as Ori is
Oh,
moving into 2/5
Guashishu.
right now,
Okay, that's cool.
unfortunately. What
It's
does
Portuguese.
Daquan have
Awesome.
in his green-white aggro deck?
I have a lot of people who watch
Well, he's got
from
Dryad
South
Militant,
America.
not exactly
really
spice, but a
surprised at
card
that.
that we haven't seen a ton of, but it's the 2-power 1-drop. Nice,
Yeah, it is a baby power dragon.
nice start that he would
I say
want.
baby. I was
Looking at
probably
the list here.
30 there,
Not seeing
32
anything
maybe?
super spicy.
About that old?
One of Sigarda that's picking up in popularity, especially
One of your
this
favorite
weekend.
Thai restaurants ever, and the other judges would go
We've seen
to.
it in some of the
Yeah,
damp control
there's a lot of good
lists.
restaurants
I don't
around
think
the
I've
Fort
seen it. We haven't
Worth
seen
Convention
it
Center.
on the table yet. At least I haven't.
I haven't either.
But I have seen it in a number of lists.
No,
Just
this
the
was not the
one
Will
of-
Rogers.
got
It
the
does
Sublime
kind of look like the Will
Archangels,
Rogers
Wolfie
Center,
of
but no, this
Silverhearts,
wasn't.
Silverblade
We've been there, though,
Paladins,
a couple of
Pre-locked on
times. We held
Smiter.
events there.
He's got Thalia. He's got Knight of Glory. He's got Mayor of Avabrook.
No, I don't
and he's
think
got
I'm the
Abacus
GOAT, but
Pilgrim.
thank you
That's
so
his
much.
Creature suite. And on the spell side, 4 Rancor, 4 Selesnya Charm, 2 Faith Shield. That's it.
So it's pretty traditional. it
Yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah,
for
there's gonna
sure.
be some crazy stuff in this match.
like
This
he's got
I
2
remember
copies of
like
Revenge
walking
of the
away from this
Hunted in
game
the
being
board.
this matchup being
Just to
hyped.
go real big. An extra Sigarda in there.
So he's playing a 1/1 with the counter, so it's a
We're gonna see
2/2.
Rakdos Calculator
So
from
it's-
Ori and just a Plains and Same Go. So we're gonna get in for at least
So
2
it's
here.
unleashed.
Start the show.
I think is the mechanic
See if
there.
he has any more
It just can't
creatures.
block.
So we're gonna see a Volcanic Strain.
Yeah, his deck is fast. There's a bunch of
Two
like
for
1 and
4.
2 mana red stuff. So Volcanic Strength,
And
I believe,
Ori
is
having,
+2/+2. So
the swift start that I think he
I just take a 4 ball right off the bat
Get it?
before I've even
Just
played
Ori
anything.
Swift.
If you explain the joke, it's so much worse. Don't
It
you
actually was
understand?
better because we're laughing because I explained it.
All right, what are we playing here?
With Ori getting in here for 4, and we're going to see a Thalia. which
Thalia,
in most cases would be pretty good against the red deck, but right now facing down a 4/4.
which makes spells cost
not
more.
the best.
Which, on the one hand, is bad because
Coming across
just
for
like the
Aurora.
commentator said, there's a 4/4
So
stare him in
Calcula's
the
gonna
face.
knock Decline
But
down to 12.
he does only play
I know
a
that Ori
few
just did draw a
lands,
Storm
so
card- a
his
Storm
spells
card
are all
noble,
going to
so
be
that's
a
gonna
little
see
bit.
play.
His
just gonna pass the turn
non-creature
back.
spells are going to be a little bit crunched.
You got some catching up to do.
Yeah, Daquan on the back foot. And, yeah, that Stromkirk Noble's gonna
Yeah, that's
Gonna
pretty
make
cool, man. There were a lot of nice
for
restaurateurs around there.
interesting combat with that Thalia. In that it's just gonna.
This
run
was the
right
standard
by it.
format at the time. So this is standard of
Looks like we're gonna see
2012,
Ash
2013.
Zealot. Yes, we
Yes,
are.
Ash Zealot from Ori Swift.
Yeah, this is where it's like, all right,
So
I
it's
may
beat
have
down
to
the
trade
clock.
for an Ash Zealot if you attack, because it's like
Beat
trading
down the
first
clock.
strikers. And I
That's not
can't
as-
block
that's-
the
I guess it's not
vampire
as
in
bad
the
as
middle because it has
Ori's
protection from
Swift
humans,
start,
if I
but-
remember right.
And we're going to see a Celestian Charm here. It looks like he's
Oh,
gonna get
yeah,
a
use
+2/+2
Celestian Charm.
to trade.
+2/+2.
Well, not even trade, but to get the upper hand.
So I
on
could
Rakdos
first strike
Calculator.
the 4/4.
Yeah, he's gonna have to make some headway.
Can I gain some life?
Besides putting something
Can I
non-human
pair
in front
something
of
with
it. That's
Thalia
really all
here
he
so
can do.
something else gets first strike? Like, I don't know.
If the Noble does become a 5/5 Celestian Charm,
And he's
then
down
he
to
can
2
answer,
cards
but that
already.
means that
That's
you
the
can't
other thing, because he did
Yeah,
mulligan as
yeah,
well.
you've let it
So
hit you several times. Sublime Archangel from Daquan.
That
yeah,
can
Sublime
get life.
Archangel
It certainly
has
can, and it
exalted
can,
for each
also
creature
do
you
quite a bit
control,
of
I
damage
believe,
itself.
if it attacks.
Third land for Ori.
So Quan has a Volcanic Strength and a Searing Spear in his hands. Now he has to basically make the decision of, do I want to Searing Spear this Sublime Archangel? Do I want to suit
I
somebody
dare
up
you to spend it all
and
to
get
try
in?
to
Because
kill
I'm
my
assuming a
angel.
Bash
I'm
Out
okay with
Volcanic
it.
Strength is completely reasonable.
Because one of the
this
things
turn.
against red decks is if you could make them spend their resources
Makes the
taking
blocks
down
for
1 or 2
Daquan
creatures,
pretty poor.
you'd be okay with that.
Take 4 and go to 5 against a mono red deck, and you're still leaving an unblockable threat on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the stream right now. That's tough.
More guys to get in the way of that Stromkirk Noble. And here comes Sublime Archangel. Excuse me.
Hold on a second. I'm going to need to check on that because I'm dropping some frames. It's causing some problems somewhere. This is what happened. Because I did this once before. And it's really just about like changing a setting, I think. Yeah, OBS things. It's very sad. Let's see. Let me go to, let's see. Let me go to my output here and change. I could probably at least reduce the bit rate a little bit, and that should probably help it quite a bit. All right, I think that'll help. Let's see. All right, let's try that. Setting it up, and then Let me change this down to 3,300. And let's see if that helps. All right. All right. Grizzle says, I wonder if I'll feel fond memories of the most recent couple of years standard format the way I do for other formats. Well, it really depends. It's more about what does your life look like around the gaming at that time, right? Because if you think about all the games you have fond memories of, it's not even often about the game, it's about the stuff around it. Like even for Magic, if you ask people what their favorite set is, it's almost always going to be one of the first 3 sets that released when they started playing, because that's the time of like discovery, and you're probably making a bunch of new friends, and y'all were getting together every day to go play and whatever. Like, so you have all this attached to it, even more so than the product itself, right? So if you're just casually playing right now, and you know you've had some rough times in the format that you don't like or whatever, you're probably not going to have super fond memories of it later because you don't have anything attached to it other than just playing the games, you know. But if you had a period where you had a bunch of road trips, or you know you were celebrating friends' tournament wins and whatever, like that stuff's going to stick with you, and that's probably where you get your more fond memories from. For me, there'll be stuff that's attached to some of the conventions I've gone to or some of the tournaments I've got new commentary of. So that stuff will stick out for me. But the individual formats, they're fine. You know, I'll remember some of the crazy cards, that for sure. All right, it looks like I got the problem fixed, so we should be all good now.
Sublime Archangel, 3 Exalted triggers.
But yeah, so I played
So across
the
for
Wolfir
7?
Silverheart,
Yeah.
which gives the creature it soul bonds with +4/+4 and trample.
Yeah, for a
And
4 drop,
since,
doing 7 damage seems pretty good.
What's her
That is to the
name?
point where-
Thalia has first strike. I'm pretty sure she trades the first strike
The-
with
and this is the thing I
Silverheart.
love about this particular white deck is
Mm-hmm.
that it closes games fast.
So I went from
the
being at
creatures
5 to
Are pretty
basically
big
having a
and
situation the
in and
opponent
of
can't
themselves,
punch past
Sublime
now.
Archangel is a game changer and it closes the games incredibly fast.
Like our creatures are too big. I now have a
Basically gonna give-
non-human
it's
that
gonna
I can
give-
block the werewolf or the vampire
Well,
with.
it's to be 2 turns to draw an answer right now.
Now, does he not have Searing Spear?
He does have Searing Spear in his hand. He does. So he'll be
It's
able
going
to
to cost
take care of it.
3, but
Yeah, it'll cost his
it's
whole
an
turn,
answer to
basically.
the guy, you know, the currently 2-turn clock he's facing.
Yeah, this is a tough spot for Ori. Like I don't
think he
blame him
wants
for
to-
taking his
he
time
wants to
because
dome him for that. With
Yeah,
that Searing
especially with
Spear.
me
He
being at
realistically
5,
just wants
because
to
part
put
of the
it
gamble
upstairs.
is if I don't have anything and he can
He's
just
also
shoot me for
considering
3 and then
casting
draw
Fur of
another
the
burn
Midnight. Now,
spell,
the Fur is
he could
not
just
really gonna
win,
do
right?
what he
So
wants it to do.
if he does shoot me, he puts me on
At
like
least from what
I
I
either
can
have to have
tell.
it in hand or on top of my library to kill him. And it probably has to come from some crazy situation with the angel. When did I start doing these types of streams? We just decided to do it today. I normally do commentary for real for the arena championships and stuff, but
Just,
this was just like
sitting there
digging up some of
flipping
my
the
old
Searing
footage that was
Spear
on the internet. Figured it'd be
and
fun.
the Fuhrer. back
When
and
is this?
forth.
This is
Fuhrer
20. I believe this one is either 2012 or
It's a tough decision
2013
because
in
the
Dallas,
also thing that weighs
Texas.
into it is, does he want to Searing Spear the Archangel now? Does he want to do it on Daquan's turn and risk getting blown up by a Selesnya charm? You know, there's a lot that weighs into that
Yeah, so
decision.
this is where I start doing the math on: can I
I'm
force
trying
him
to
to
figure out
block
if
or
I'm
die?
Ori, what
Or
would I
what
have done there?
combination
Like, I
gets
think
me
I might
killed
have
if
just
he has
taken
at
out
least
the
one
angel
burn spell in hand next turn?
there. I mean, he can always do it on attacks if it attacks here, which it likely
So,
will.
like, you see me doing some math. I'm like
you know,
checking life
when-
totals and
before
just
the
going,
Exalted
all right,
triggers
we could
resolve.
do this.
But a second Wolfir Silverheart,
Yep.
and I believe he just tried to bond it with the Archangel, which is the only legal bond target.
So now he has to see
And now
if
it's
that
just like,
is
I
bond
think I can just
okay.
attack with everything because they're all
Or he
lethal.
decides, like, you know, am I going to Searing Spear this thing now? Now, the interesting thing is that an attack with the Archangel with a bonded Silverheart is going to put Ori down.
And with
to
my
one,
not so
so
great
it's gonna
decisions,
give
I
another
spent 4
turn to
wild
try to
cards
kill
on
it,
doubling
or it's gonna get out of
seasons.
this.
Could you help
He
Sunday
will
make
not
a deck
die
with
from this attack.
Yeah,
Liliana
with
on doubling
12
seasons?
power
People
Archangel.
had some of those for a minute.
Because of the Soul Bond giving it +4, so that
With,
makes it 8 power, and then 4 Exalted triggers.
What's her name? Vraska. That was just basically an instant win. You just
Now,
get Vraska with doubling season and
the,
you just minus Vraska.
Crazy thing, I don't think this is even. Yeah, it's
It was basically
unlikely,
just
but
Golgari
Daquan did not play
control
land this
with
turn. He could play
Planeswalkers.
land 1-drop and just get that extra,
Yeah.
extra damage. And of course,
wow.
at that point, he's just.
Yeah,
he
the
is
announcers were kind of surprised.
all
It was
aggro.
like, I did the math and went like, no, he has to block or he's just dead. He's only at 13.
Not even worrying about Exalted. everybody in besides the summoning sick Wolfear Silverheart. So it's the other Wolfear Silverheart,
Yep.
Thalia.
Well, because
Sublime
one
Archangel.
Wolfo Silverheart is 8. Yeah.
This is a lethal attack. 8 and 6 is 14. That's an attack for 18 damage.
Yep. Things have to block.
So this does serve basically the same purpose. Okay. So
But
it
this
looks
takes
like-
away the concern of,
Yeah,
okay,
the
now
Quan
you have to
Actually,
top deck the
that's
burn if you don't have it
816.
already.
Yeah, if he didn't block there, he was absolutely
Yeah,
dead. He
yeah.
couldn't. I mean, it was
Yeah.
because the
Which he did
Silverheart
have
8,
one half of the equation.
Archangel's
So
8,
I'm just like, okay, do you
the
draw?
Thalia
Six.
6, right?
Like,
So
if
it
you,
was,
if you do, you win.
quite a
If
bit
not,
better.
I win.
All
That's
right.
basically what this
Rip,
was.
rip,
Daquan able to clear the board there with just attacking creatures.
And I have a big 8/8 to
Searing
block, so I'm not
Spear,
worried about a
Daquan
haste
down to
creature or
2.
anything.
And we see an Ash Zealot as his draw. Ash Zealot plus Fear of the Bitten.
Oh, yeah.
It's not
When you're
gonna
playing in
get
paper,
done.
you definitely have to
So it
pay
looks like
attention
we're
to a
gonna
lot
go second
more. There's
game in a
no
moment.
auto
We
tapper
need to
or
draw a burn spell
reminders or
there,
anything like
unable
that
to
like you
do
get when
so.
you're playing Arena.
So Daquan Watson is going to go up a game here against Ori Swift.
That's that
Yep.
was a close one.
Dodged a
Very
bullet.
close.
I got away with one.
Now you have Ori's deck list in front of you. What
I
do you see from
do.
the
But in
sideboard?
hindsight, I don't think he had as many burn spells as I thought he had, but I didn't know that at the
You've
time.
been so excited about it. I'll let you
I'll take a
look.
look,
Take a
Skippoo.
look. Come on, Red.
Two
Oh,
Torment
found a
scripts.
Commander
Why not
Knight.
coming in here?
It's okay
Pillar
to
of the
proxy
Flame,
cards.
I
It's up
like.
to you and your group. I don't personally.
Forge Devil.
Here's
I
my
don't
thing
care
on
for it
proxies.
too much.
'Cause
It's
I always
not
get somebody who
terrible. It does
yells
take
at
out
me
the Mana Dorks.
whenever I
Does take
mention
out-
it, but in my groups, we don't really care to proxy cards unless somebody's just wanting to test a thing before they buy it. Because my personal perspective, and again, this is just me, is that if we're playing casually, then you don't need the absolute best cards, right? Like, I get it if you're trying to play, a competitive commander or whatever, because you got to have certain things for combos and search cards and whatever. But if we're just playing theme decks and other stuff, like, just play what you have, and we can loan each other cards or whatever, and that's fine. And to me, that's somewhat part of the experience, is collecting the cards, trading the cards, building your favorite decks, whatever. I get it. Some people have a different view. Some people just I also, and here's the thing for me personally. I feel this way about every game I play, whether it's Teamfight Tactics or Baldur's Gate or Magic or whatever. I'm okay putting money back into the system because I also understand that needs to exist so I can get more of this in the future. Right? I understand some people don't have money to do that, and I don't have a ton, but I put in where I can. But there's also some people like, nope, I'm going to play for free. There's no reason. Screw the man, and that to me is also the other extreme. So I don't have a problem with them. I'm just amazed that there's people out here that will proxy literally everything. Like, I've sat across from somebody, I think even the basic lands, like top to bottom, they had like 20 decks and they were all just proxy. And I'm thinking to myself, as much as you sprint on printer paper and ink, you probably could have built at least 2 decks. But, to each their own. To me, that's not as fun to play against. Like, it's way more interesting to see somebody's card selection because they didn't have something else and they found like a cool card nobody plays with. Or there's a story to the thing they put together or whatever, That to me is just way more interesting than like, okay, I'm playing against this person who copied some good deck and just proxied it. Like, it just takes away the casual element for me. So it's not really a me thing. Tired. I wish to review with you, but should probably do. Dude, hey, go get your sleep, man. Is Baldur's Gate worth the price? I will say this. It got all the updates and everything. Even up till recent, they still left the servers open for people. But for a $50 game, we played that thing for, God, how long did we play? Like a year, a little over a year, like a year and 3 months or something. Because we played like once a week for 2 to 3 hours. So I guess that's, I don't know, multiplied by 2, 52 weeks plus another like 18. So let's call it 70-ish weeks. So we got about 140 hours out of it. So that was pretty cool. You helped me clean up a few of my brews the other day. Oh, well, awesome. But yeah, I enjoyed Baldur's Gate. It's the first role-playing game I've played in a long time that didn't feel linear, right? I could, and what, man, I could go on for a lot on Baldur's Gate, but one of the things that really stood out to me was that there were things, like even with my woman playing, because she played at a whole different group of people and whatever, so they were on a different timetable than we were. And there were things I mentioned that her group never saw or did. And there's things they did or places they went or whatever that I'm like, oh, I didn't even know we could have done that or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. And then, you know, depending on what characters you had, the interactions are different. So it's kind of neat. I like it. I think it was genuinely worthy of all the awards it got nominated for. It made so much money, their little studio can now finance at least their next 2 projects with no outside help just because of Baldur's Gate. So, like, good on them, man. They earned it. Also, more of you look like you've strolled in here. Welcome. My name's Power Dragon. I put up stuff on YouTube literally every day for the last 5.5 years. You should subscribe. I'd appreciate it. But also, I do commentary for Arena Championships. I'm on a couple podcasts. However, I thought today we'd have fun digging up some of my old tournament footage when I used to grind the tournament circuit and just kind of see what was going on at that time. So this is like 2012, 2013 era. You said your dream is Larian Studios make a Magic game to the style of BG3. That won't happen. For 2 reasons. One, Magic just doesn't lend itself to being that type of game. So that's just probably never going to be a thing. It just doesn't really work for Magic. The other is that relationship is currently severed because Tencent tried to get involved and bought some small percentage of Larian or whatever, and it's a whole business thing. So right now, we don't even know if there's going to be a Baldur's Gate 4, much less a Magic thing done by Larian. You know, so that's tough. Obi says, I like the Boomy deck you put out today, but the Ashaya combo is broken and would make it better. Well, Ashaya makes anything that cares about lands better, of course.
Value, so it's not horrible. Trader's Blood, however, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, that's a scary one.
Yeah,
Awesome
so this is
targets
tough
in Wolf
because
of
I think he
Silverheart,
plays
Sublime
red
Arcane,
cards
Wolf,
that
Silverblade
steal
Paladin,
creatures.
A lot of really good targets.
So part of my
I think those are
sideboard plan
100%
here
coming
was
in.
trying to decide
For
how
probably
many
volcanic strength,
Wolf
perhaps
or
some of the
Silver
other
Hearts.
creatures here. Those are gonna
One
feature
that I
for
could
the-
leave in because I'm
the
on the
additional
draw.
Killer Flame
So
as
like
well,
we'll
I
even
could
get
see
to
coming in
cast
as
them.
well, but that's about it for Ori.
And 2,
Yeah, on Daquan's
if I get
side,
to
he's got
cast them,
3 Centaur healers.
are they going to
definitely
steal them
coming
and
in.
make it bad for me?
Other than that, there's nothing that seems.
But
completely
I also know I'm
obvious.
playing
He's got,
Thalias, and
you know, a
Thalias can
lot
make
of,
those cost
he's
more,
got
and he
2
doesn't have that many
Garrick's, 2
lands.
Revenge of the
So
Hunted, 3 Oblivion Ring. It's all like kind of
I think
big
you
and
see
clunky.
me,
Like, you don't
if
wanna
I remember right,
O-ring
I end up going back
a
and
strong
forth to the
Kurkuma. But
sideboard
then again,
2 or 3 times.
you
Like
might
I put
have
stuff
to.
in and
That's
take
what-
stuff
that's what
out.
it takes.
I can
and then I
imagine
change my mind
that
and-
as a possibility. He's got an additional Sigarda. I don't think he wants that.
Yeah, and if you notice,
exactly
the tone
here,
to this match is very different
it
than the
doesn't
last
get
one I
burned,
played because
which
Ori,
is awesome.
unbeknownst
but,
to me at the time,
you know,
he
it's
plays a lot of high pressure stuff.
still
He goes
kind of
to a
a
lot of
clunky
big tournaments and
5-drop.
competitions.
So, it's
So
super expensive. You have to interact.
he was
early
kind of
with
used to
deck.
this, and this was
is a
fine.
19
And we were
land
both
deck
friends with the judge that was sitting there.
12
So
one-drops. You have to
you know,
interact. Actually,
no real
it's
problems.
1, 2, 3, 4, 20.
Yeah,
Actually,
But yeah, like I said, I found out later that Ori was a world
Yeah,
class,
he definitely like. So he wants his deck to become
top
leaner
tier
and
Scrabble
and be
player,
able
and I
to
didn't even know
kind
that
of
was a thing.
Get in.
I just thought that
in
was so
Ori's
crazy.
way. Yeah, he did a great job of it there in game 1. So I think.
Yeah, Larian can
I think
continue their
mainly he
Divinity
just goes
games.
with the
Yeah,
Centaur
that'll probably
healers that are just
happen,
gonna
actually.
Undo some of those searing
I wouldn't be
spears
surprised if you
and
see Divinity 3.
whatnot and get in the
Centaur
way.
Hailer is just also just a big dude against
Just-
this
yeah,
fact that
it's-
it's mostly 2-power creatures for 1
Yeah.
mana. It's pretty much the ideal card a green-white deck can have against
Let
this
me
red deck.
skip
Yeah.
ahead a little bit because we do a
Like,
lot of
it's Ori
sideboarding in
against-
this one.
To isn't that your deck?
Guys,
He's not.
same time
Where are we at here?
preparing for this particular
All right,
game.
here we go.
Ori will be on the play this game, of course.
If you're just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco, joined by Cedric Phillips in the booth, and we're coming to you guys live from Dallas, Fort Worth.
Rizzle says, I
from
was
the
there
StarCityGames.com
at the
Standard
beginning. I
Open.
remember when you
Here
did the
in the final
podcast
round
with
of the
CGB
Swiss,
about
where
Crokies
Ori
playing
Swift
against the pros.
is down a game to Daquan Watson.
Wow, yeah, that was a while.
Ori
That was
Swift-
near,
Swift
like,
on mono red.
into that
A
first
deck
year of the
we've been
pandemic,
expecting
maybe?
to see more of today and have not seen it up until now.
Fortunately, just kind of flamed out a little bit this weekend. Taylor Webb had a nice start with the deck. He started 3-0. Some other people started. I know there was a gentleman who started 4-0.
Yeah,
with
this
the
was
deck as
tough,
well.
taking a mulligan
It's
on
kinda
the
flamed
draw
out,
against a
which
super fast
isn't
red deck.
unreasonable over a 10
And I was
round
literally
tournament
thinking,
to
like,
do.
man, did I leave too many of those, like,
The
4
deck
and
is
5
really-
mana
seems like
things
it's
in
really all
here?
about matchups.
'Cause it's going to come back to
This is
bite
like
me
a
in the
matchup
butt.
it just does not want to face.
Yeah, strap yourselves in, because if I remember right, this game
Looks
is
like Ori's kept
crazy.
his 7. Daquan kept his 7. We've got Mountain,
Daquan kept it 6. He did.
He did take a mulligan.
The craziest
All right, there's an Addison's Children.
creatures you don't even get to really see.
So you see Stone Right. Stone Right, a card.
What happens if you never find land? Yeah, you just
Even
mulligan till you
constructed-
decide a hand you want to keep.
Let alone, I mean, any constructed format. And there's a Forge Devil, which is a
Man,
huge-
Forge Devil
Rubbing
crushed
hands
me
together.
this game.
Yeah.
Like, it's a random 1/1 that
Yeah,
enters
he's
the
just
battlefield
down
and
right.
deals
The
1 to a
with
creature.
Soul Bond that
Like,
can,
the most random
give fire
sideboard
breathing.
card that was
Yep.
so good against me.
So now we're going to see Fur of the Bitten, which is going to be red
Yeah,
as well.
Stone Right.
I'm sure Ori has gone through this a lot today. People are going, Stone Right? What are these cards that you're casting?
Yep, it's
Who
a
are
random
you?
soul bond that I think gives like fire breathing to your creatures. Pay a red, and your creature gets +1
Ori with
+0.
just 2 guys. There's Fuhrer of the Bitten. Show us the Forge Devil.
Yeah,
doing
get
the,
Forge Devil out
rubbing
there,
his
too. No
hands
one ever sees
together.
that one.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, I got a Thalia. I'm good. I could first
And
strike
Thalia from
these
the
1/1
Forge
knuckleheads.
Devil.
There's Forge Devil.
my
Nope, there's
Lord.
another
Wow.
Forge Devil. Deal
Lord
1 to
have
Thalia.
mercy.
And I'm like, well, we're in
So
trouble
Ori
now,
Swift
boys.
Just taking out
And a
Daquan's
volcanic
creatures. Left
Yeah,
and
this
right,
is what
and,
Ori's deck wants to do right here. And I was like,
wow.
yep, I figured
That
as
is
much. You
the-
take that
that is
mulligan,
the
and
start,
This
this
yeah.
is what happens.
I mean, when your deck is playing 21 drops, you're probably going to have a couple plays early on.
the young guy on the
Centaur
left,
healer.
I've been told he could
Can he
be one of
overcome
my
the
younger
Centaur
brothers or cousins, so I don't know.
Yeah, we're going to find out. So, Stone Right is a 3/3, right? A 3/3 has to.
Yeah,
attack
he just had
there's a
everything, this guy. I'm
Brimstone
just
Ball
like,
for the,
What do I
Centaur
even
healer.
do here? I'm just like, I'll
Very
take
clearly,
4 or
yes.
whatever.
Yeah.
Just keep taking,
Daquan
or
up to
5, I
14
guess.
off of the healer.
Just keep taking my
Loses the
beatings.
healer, and now
So you can take 7.
Forge Devil is a 3-power dude, right?
Yep.
So we've got 7 going on there.
So
Yeah.
he's down to
Yeah, I
7,
seriously,
and
like,
he
I was thinking,
is-
like, what could I
he's
even
lethal
play
next
here?
turn.
Like-
We're going to see a Knight of Glory here, along with a Mare of Averbrook, making Knight into a 3/2.
Yeah, I'm just like, Mayor of Averbrook looks so bad
All of these
here.
guys
It pumps other
basically are gonna
humans
trade
on the
Forge
front
Devil,
side,
does
and
not
it's a
trade
werewolf on the back
favorably.
side, I think.
with the Knight of Glory, but that's about it. So we'll see exactly what Ori has in his hand.
But
Yeah,
if,
Ori just
I'm
needs
already
to
thinking,
punch
like, if
through
Ori has
damage.
anything
Can
relevant,
he,
yeah, I'm cooked.
So Pillar of Flame on the Knight. There goes the Knight.
Yeah, and I have 1 card left, and I think it's a
And everybody
land,
in
so
again.
I'm just like, I can't do anything
3,
here.
4. So this is whatever gets blocked here. He's gonna have to block one of the big guys.
Sure.
Yep.
Or else go to 1.
Yep. And
Which-
then don't forget
then
about the
fire breathing.
Yeah, I don't even
And
bother with
Daquan
it.
said,
I'm like,
"I
even if I
can't- I
block
can't
here and
handle
kill a
this."
thing, I'm at
And
1 or
in,
2
I
life.
think,
I'm not
about
coming back. Like,
50 seconds, Ori takes that game.
I literally was
Devil
just like,
is
Forge
insane.
Devil. What the
Yeah,
hell?
it did.
Like, you know, like who
It's like,
plays
yeah,
that card?
Kill your guy.
Obviously
Kill
he
your other
does.
guy.
And to be fair, credit to Ori,
It's
because
not
in
even
that
really
environment,
just
there
that
were a
game.
fair amount of like
Just
Birds
like
of
a fight in
Paradise,
favor of
you know,
Daquan.
those types of just
Thalia,
quick
he
1
was
mana
gonna
creatures.
start off that game with
So if you have a
Pilgrim
Forge Devil or 2 early,
into Centaur
I mean,
Healer,
that
or
could wipe out
Pilgrim
your
into
board.
Thalia into Centaur Healer.
Yeah.
Because of the Forge Devils.
Way to take the joke. I saw a picture of
just
myself
ruined that
recently
plan
because
and
of
then-
holiday
and then got him
family
killed.
things, and wow, I knew
Yeah,
it was a
it's like
banger
a
when I saw
funny
it.
little variant on Mog.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah.
a problem seeing old pictures of myself.
That was wild.
I've kind of looked the same the whole time, just slightly more
of course,
gray and
Forge Devil's gonna
maybe
look
an extra
embarrassing
pound a
in some
year
of the
or
cards.
something.
Oh yeah.
In the
So
contract,
I've
but if we ever
always
get
looked
to those
similar,
cards that
even
Forge
when I'm
Devil's
younger.
embarrassing
It's
against,
funny because a few people I
I
went to
don't
high
think
school
Ori's
with,
winning any
they'll
of that.
occasionally
Right.
see
I like that card
something
in the sideboard
of
for this
mine on like
particular matchup.
Facebook or whatever, and they freak out of how similar
Nice
I
little
look.
combo with Pillar to take down a 3 toughness guy like the Centaur healers. You know,
That's
I
true
mean,
as well.
I just tell people,
something.
man, I eat a lot of gummy
Uh,
bears. I'm preserved from the inside. It's all the
In
collagen.
combination with some of the burn spells to just
And a
clear
lot
away.
of water and juice. That's literally it. I don't know. I don't have any other secrets.
No,
I don't
Forge Devil,
smoke a
it
bunch.
does
I don't
to
drink a
any creature,
bunch. You know.
Yeah, it's just to target creature and 1 damage.
You can
to
see the
So
guy
it's
on the
an
side of your
interesting way to
opponent
turn on
when he
the
kept the
Brimstone
mulligan
Ball
mouth.
as well.
Wow, you knew it was going to be a
It's the
banger.
counter playing itself.
Yeah, that's a good point. Kind of pay 4 for a
Yeah, Forge Devil, wild card, man.
volcanic.
We're playing
hammer.
Duskwatch
Is it,
Recruiter.
lava. What,
I'm not
lava
sure if it's
Axe?
collected
That's
company.
actually
No,
question,
there was
yeah.
no recruiter in that. This is just soul bond humans
The volcanic
aggro,
hammer
basically.
is just sorcery speed incinerate, right?
Yeah. But now this is
Played that
When the
card.
professor will invite you to learn
When
Commander
Incinerate wasn't
Show,
legal?
Oh,
it would
yeah,
be awesome to
you
see you there.
have
Hey,
to.
anytime. All I can
That's the
say is
best
get
burn
into his
spell in
messages and his
standard. Hey.
DMs
You gotta
and
do what you gotta
or his
do.
YouTube comments and just say, hey, why don't you get
Gosh,
Power
I don't
Dragon
even-
on?
When was that?
I don't live that far from him. We
It
did
It
some
was. It
content.
feels like 10 years ago.
I don't think people
Yes,
know
like
this.
8th edition or something.
But we did it was like that first October 2020 during the pandemic. We both quarantined, you know, we exchanged a bunch of notes on what to record, and I drove to his place because neither of us can make content with anybody, but we found out we lived close enough that I could at least drive to him. and I stayed overnight there, and then we did 3 pieces. One, the file got corrupt, so I think only 2 pieces came out. I think one was on my channel, one was on his channel, and the third one never released. But yeah, so we did stuff, 5 years ago or whatever. But yeah, if people want to see me, I'll gladly go do it. I mean, I have other friends near where he lives and whatever, so it'd be cool to just go visit. So yeah, if he wants in, let me know. I will gladly go down there and do it, because I have a bunch of stuff I can talk about. If he wants me to do Commander, if I want to just do the podcast, whatever the case is. But yeah, get in his comments and let him know.
You can say an 8th edition?
8th? I was actually right. Wow.
To get that filled out.
Innistrad and Moon Standard.
Well, I mean, it was originally in Mirage.
Yeah,
right.
A long time ago.
Yeah, but having
hydration is a big deal.
Like the
I mean,
best
even now,
burn spell in Standard.
I have
so
merch,
crazy.
by the way. You should check out the merch links below if you're on YouTube.
Yeah, it was in a lot of. It was in Portal.
This is
actually, it wasn't in
2012
Mirage,
or
it was just
2013.
Portal.
So we'll just
So it was
say
Portal,
it's,
Portal Second Age.
at this point,
Starter
14,
1999,
15 years
7th,
ago.
8th, and 9th.
Jeez.
So, printed a lot.
How the mighty have fallen. Now we have Searing Spear.
says it
Yeah.
will happen.
Just say, get out of here, Volcanic Hammer.
Yeah, so I'm literally going back through my deck here going, Forge
These
Devil,
players
huh?
taking a look at their sideboards really quickly
I think that's
before
all
they
I'm thinking
through.
about. Is like, that's a card I
Deciding,
didn't
what am
prepare
gonna
for.
do for Ori.
And
This is the
I
spot he
think I
doesn't
can
really wanna
sideboard
be in.
around
I'm
it now, because I
gonna
think
draw.
there's
And it's this green white deck.
the
It's one thing to
3
run that deck
threes
only
for
before it can be
2, the
established
elephant that
did
like
that
gains
as
3
the
life and
last
stuff like that.
game.
I think
But
there's
with green white on the
a 3
play,
mana 3/3
he's gonna
centaur
need
that
to set
gains
up
some life. So I have
before
stuff
he's
I
on
could
the
sideboard
really do
in,
their thing and tempo them out with the burn
but I
spells,
probably
so
wouldn't have if
we'll
I didn't know
see
the
if
Forge
Ori
Devils
can
were.
actually beat a green
So I'm
white
kind of
deck
glad
if
I
he
got to
is
see them in
on
that second game.
the draw.
But yeah, this was fun.
Again, I do think this is a pretty good matchup here for Daquan. I think if Ori was walking
So what do you like about?
mono red, you've seen the version that has has 8 1-drops and then a bevy of 2-drops, like here and there a little bit.
But
bigger,
honestly, at
whereas
the time,
Ori's
this
version
was
has
one of the more
21
creative
drops,
versions
some
of mono
creature
red I'd
enchantments,
seen.
and some burn spells. So I'm not really sure which one's better. Honestly,
Right,
trying to
this
get
one-
And I really don't think,
as fast as I
honestly,
can.
Yeah, this one is just blazing.
of all the
fast.
different decks
And
we
only has
tested
19
against for
lands,
mono red,
too.
I don't think I
Yeah,
even
this has also got to be not only
considered
the cheapest
this to be
converted
one
mana
of the
cost in
versions.
Standard.
And
It's
I
gotta
didn't
be,
even
like,
find
the
out about
cheapest
it
deck in Standard.
until like
Yeah.
the day
It's
before the
all
event.
commons and uncommons.
And it wasn't super popular. I think there was maybe
Stormcrypt
5
Noble
or
and
6
Vexing
people playing
Devil,
it that day,
I think
out of
that's-
whatever it
oh,
was,
Ashes Eldritch
like
are
600
rare too,
people
But I mean,
or
those are like
something.
some of the least expensive rares. You could build this deck for probably $30.
Oh yeah, Ori's whole deck, for real,
Both players keep
might have
opening
cost
7,
you
and we see
$25.
for Daquan, just the
Like,
Temple Guardian says go, and Ori has probably
even
the
his
best one
rares
that we
were
can
like
play
25 and 50-cent
in
rares.
Stormcrypt Noble.
I was like, okay, let's see
So
Forge
there's a
Devil
rare
number
ever
1.
drop.
How about those sleeves Ori has too with Gandalf?
Oh, there's your Forge Devil.
All right.
man.
Yeah, Forge Devil takes out the mayor.
And I accepted
and,
that. Like, I'm okay with
Stormcrypt's
that
gonna
dying.
Come over and
I
do
assume
some,
now that I know Forge Devils exist and we're
swift
sideboard in, I was
firewalking.
just
Has
deciding
there
what
ever
gets
been
to
a
die to
better
a Forge
card than
Devil.
Forge Devil? Ever?
no.
Believe it or not, the
better
bigger
than all.
concern
Yeah.
was the vampire.
Making Thraxos look
Because
like
if
a
this
joke.
sits out there for 3 or 4 turns,
It
it can
just
get
needs
into a
protect
situation where it's
players
just going to be
can't
hard
gain
for me to
life.
deal with.
I
at
know what
all.
I'm going to write about this week. Sam Black and his side-by-side Thraxos translation. I
Yep.
have. quite the
Here's a
card for
3
you.
mana 4/4 elephant.
Stone right for Ori Swift, and then Daquan adds Loxodon Smiter
Yeah, Forge Devil that.
to get in the way.
Loxodon Smiter is a boss.
What can you do about a 4/4 non-human? Says Daquan.
Yep, that's
said
exactly
about
what
it.
that was. Of like, okay, I can at least now block the vampire. And there was, like I said, there was that, the centaur, a couple other things that I made sure to bring
I'm
in.
interested to see, obviously, our local red magician, Patrick Sullivan, what his take on red would be in this format. If he would go this approach, or if he would go a little bit bigger
All
with
right.
Hellrider and those boys.
And this was like
As we
a
see
little
him attacking
surprising. I'm like, oh,
the
he's just
little
attacking with
Dorcuses.
everything. All right, so I'm gonna assume he has like a searing spear or something to kill my elephant, but I gotta get the
All right,
vampire
so
off
we're
the
gonna do
battlefield.
him too. Stromkirk's going to bite it. I think we're going to see a Searing Spear.
Yep.
Yeah, take out that Smiter.
But that's
That's
okay.
interesting
Like
to
that
see,
stopped
is
a
it
lot
worth
of
it
damage, right?
to
I
throw away
took
the
the
Noble
least
to take
amount of
care-
damage that turn,
take
and I
care
got the
of
most
Smiter,
problematic
or
card
if he
off the
could have just attacked
battlefield.
with the two.
So now I was
The
feeling
two
a
guys
lot
that are on the
better.
table right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now I have a
See,
double
that's a
striker.
Silverblade Paladin.
Yeah, it's promo.
Do you have more burn spells?
Because now, you know, he would have his
Noble,
Noble,
which is
could get
getting
through
bigger,
that,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. He actually, the Noble is actually more a valuable creature to have around. So there's
Yeah,
an Ash
Ash Zealot does
It looks
have
like
haste,
Astel is paired up
unfortunately.
with Stone right now.
And I was not in the mood to trade my
coming
guy
on in.
for an Ash Zealot when I'm at 17.
Or his clock, not the
Here's
fastest.
where the
We see
beating
Centaur
comes
Healer
in, though.
drawn for Daquan. Daquan is going to slam down Wolfer's Silverheart.
Yep. So now I have a 6/6 and an 8/8 double
And
striker.
Now we're in
Red is
serious
never
trouble
getting
for Ori.
through.
The ultimate wall is here.
He did not obviously shave his 5-drops. I mean, he may have shaved them, but he didn't cut them entirely because there's a Wolf Eater Silverheart.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
And
is
when
like,
on the play, I
okay.
think it's reasonable to leave in Wolfer's Silverheart.
Immediately when I hit
hit
that, I was like, all right, we're good. Like, there's nothing he's going to be able to do to punch through this now.
But now he just has a 6/6 and an 8/8, 2 double strikers. The tide is turned now. Ori can't attack, and
And
Daquan
basically,
is certainly
every attack
able
is
to
lethal.
attack.
That's the other thing.
Ash Zealot is such a ridiculous card. It's like it's got this whole second half that's almost I think it is irrelevant in this match, but it's
And no
a
lie,
2/2
I
first
did
strike haste
kind of feel
with
bad
it.
for my opponent here because
That's
it's like,
fine.
this is a board
You're
state on
happy
turn
to play
5
with
that
your red
his
deck.
red deck can't do anything
I
about.
remember when
Like,
I
he has to
first
just
saw that
throw
card, I was
away
surprised
2
that it was something
creatures.
that could actually, like, be
Plus,
a
I'm going to
thing.
get to keep
Yeah.
playing creatures behind
And then
him.
the second ability, I mean, those words matter.
Oh, they don't matter in this particular match.
Yeah.
I just mean like how good is it even just in,
Oh, I
as
also have a Gavany Township on the
first strike
table,
haste
so I could put +1/+1
in
counters
this
and
match,
stuff.
and it's also got this other ability that just is super relevant in other matchups in the format. So
Yeah, I'm doing the math here, but I'm like, all right,
All right, here
if
comes
he
the
chump blocks
Paladin,
both
here
these
comes
and then
the
just
Silverheart.
attacks
Boys,
with
this
for
is
4,
basically,
I don't
this deck
care.
is lethal.
Because
you've
like
got
if he
some
attacks,
blocking
then he
to do,
just
so-
dies the next turn. So like he has to have 2 blockers every turn. Like, and I know he only has
I
2
miss
lands,
some
so
Wolfer's
that's not going to
Silverheart.
happen.
The way that card turns the game around, and it's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to attack you next turn.
it's
In
like
hindsight-
a force of nature that you can like kind of
Wolfer Silverheart
split
only
across
really made a
some other
splash in like
guys. It's-
one major
Yeah.
tournament. For
It's
whatever
just crazy.
reason,
I
people
remember
didn't play
when I
that
talked
card
about-
very
I
much.
talked to,
And it was great in this
when
deck.
you were out with Glenn about this, how at Pro Tour Barcelona, that was like the card of the tournament. They're just like, people just couldn't believe it's like, you have 5 mana, like 12/12, they can just make this a card, and then it just fell off the map because of Delver, and it's like, well, where'd it go? Why can't it come
Yeah,
back?
exactly. He's just like, well, I guess I got to block.
Well,
Keep my
Daquan
best
certainly
cards.
is happy to play it,
Yeah.
and you see Ori throwing a couple of
Yep.
1-drops.
3/3
He,
Centaur, and I
fired
get
it,
some
so
life.
Leaves himself with 2 Ash Zealots in play. Daquan plays Centaur Healer, and it's not looking great for Ori right now. Daquan at a healthy 18 with monsters
Yeah.
on the other side of the board. Just huge monsters. And
And these are the type of games
Daquan's
where,
attacks are
you know,
lethal,
people say, like,
too.
why do you
Every turn just
concede
gonna
when
assemble those
you could
guys
still
and
play it out
just a
forever?
lethal
Like,
attack every time with Silverheart and
there's
Silverheart
generally
Paladin.
no
yeah,
game
Daquan
state
has
the
no
opponent
fear
can
at
win
this
with
point.
here.
At that healthy of a life total.
Even if he does do
he
straight
has
burn
no
spells,
reason not
he
to
would
just
die,
swing
like, because
in
he'd have to chump block things, and then he
repeatedly
just dies the
until,
next turn. Like, there's 0 outs
and
here.
force Ori to block. Which
I
if
basically
you're
have a
blocking,
double
you're
Nether
losing.
Void out,
Yeah,
where
right
he has
how
to
the
sacrifice
old
a
adage
creature
goes.
to
That's
each of my
typically how it
guys
goes
every
with red
turn.
decks. If you are blocking with your guys, you are losing the game.
You have such a
Or
soft
giving
spot for
yourself a
Centaur
chance to
Healer
feel
in your
burn
hand. I
spell.
love that
Yeah,
card
pretty
back in the
much.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
unfortunately,
a good
there isn't
sideboard card.
Brimstone Volley that hits for 18
Not yet.
yet.
Give him a couple sets. Sinker, I think.
Yeah,
So we
Sinker's
don't
coming
know
after
if, yeah.
Gatecrash might be in that, morbid 4 mana, 18.
Yeah,
But to be honest,
Approximately.
the fact that he
It
was
actually
sitting here
says it on
thinking for so long,
approximately 18.
I did
Force
have
Devil,
the
you were
idea
best
that
card in Magic
he
history.
might have had one of those red spells that steals a creature, and he might have been a land
For like a
short.
minute.
You're not looking so good.
So I'm like, oh, maybe he's just buying
Forge
Oh,
Devil.
now
time.
Cackler. No.
Oh,
With the
jeez.
leash.
Oh,
With a
Rakdos
leash.
Cackler, and it's not
Oh,
unleashed.
no.
It's just a little
It's all
one
over
that
but
can
the
block.
tears.
This is carnage, bloodbath. Oh, Forge Devil comes down and does more damage to Ori than it even affected Daquan.
Yep.
And then
no,
the
not another
Amon's Goblin Raiders for Ori and
Yeah, and here I
yeah,
just
so
put
that's
counters
just
on my
a flat
creatures and then
18.
gave it protection from
Oh,
red.
gosh.
So
oh, that's so bad.
it's like that's an 8/8
Ori
with a counter, so it's
swiftly
a 9,
extends the
and it
hand.
just double strikes.
Cannot
It's like, okay.
overcome the scary monsters on Daquan's side of the
But
board, and Daquan
that game
takes
was
the match
over 4
2
different
to
ways.
1. 20 minutes left. Are we?
But yeah,
able
that
to
was a
get another
crazy, crazy
match?
match. Those Forge Devils, like, oh my god, they just wrecked me. But yeah, I thought that was fun just to kind of look at some old events because I was like, oh, some of my tournaments from Star City stuff are still up there. So that's really cool. So it's kind of fun to see as an option to just kind of talk about and not something you get to see too often, especially for people who just started playing, kind of getting to see the old tournaments and stuff like that, I think are neat. But yeah, if y'all like, we can I don't know, maybe the next couple weekends make it a thing to review some old tournament, maybe not my tournament footage, but of others that are out there cuz there's a lot. I mean, you know, I think we just forget sometimes there's a lot of tournament footage still out there. Even today, there's a bunch. Jeremy says, I miss when there were so many tournaments and LGS locations. I used to be able to play limited 5 days a week in rural South. Um, I think it depends on where you live, truthfully, because like right now, I can go to a local store. I mean, if I drive within 30 to 40 minutes of my house, I can visit probably 6 different stores, 7. And that's just for Magic. Like if I wanted to go for comic books or Transformers or anime or whatever, there's probably another like 6, 7 stores I could go check out, which is wild. But yeah, it really depends. It's very dependent on where you live. But the other thing too, Reggie says I really enjoyed that. I'm glad. It's something a little bit different. The another thing I think that comes up sometimes is this was okay, this is kind of a two-part thing. There would be a lot of people when I had my store that would come in and we'd run our F&Ms till the events finish. Might be 10:30, 11 o'clock. You know, we wrap up, everybody goes home. Inevitably, a couple times a year, there'd be somebody comes in and goes something similar to, oh, well, the store I used to go to, we'd draft all night and we'd be here till 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. What store is it? And almost every time they'd be like, oh, well, it's not open now, but. And I was like, well, then there's a reason they're not open, right? Like, they weren't making any money those later hours. They were just open. You know, that costs electricity and employee hours and whatever. And what I tried to tell people, once the pandemic hit, I remember warning people, even on my podcast, on Magic Mics, not on Magic, on Color Magic, I try to tell everybody, look, a bunch of y'all are about to find out. Actually, more importantly, your store owners are about to find out that they don't need to waste money on you. Because, and I always knew, I didn't think it was going to be because of the pandemic, but I always predicted there was going to be a day where the paradigm was going to shift because so many competitive players for a lot of their stores were basically trying to figure out, how can I play the most Magic and spend the least in this store? That's not a recipe for success for your store. And don't get me wrong, you should be trying to save money and whatever. Like, to a point, it makes sense, right? You got to watch your budget, whatever. But there were literally people trying to figure out, well, how can I go infinite if I can get store credit and then I never have to spend anything on a draft here and blah, blah. And then they wouldn't even buy drinks or whatever because they tried to get stuff before they went to the store. And it's just like, how do you think your store was going to stay open? You know, like, what did you think the other side of that was if you were never spending a dime there? And here's always been the crazy thing to me, is I would have people that would complain about, I don't want to spend this or do that, or this should be free and blah, whatever. And then they would go get like a brand new AAA title video game, you know, $50, $60, $70, and then brag about being done with it in like 3 days. So like, you're trying to be price conscious over here where it affects your community and your store and somebody's livelihood and whatever. But then you're like, oh, I'll just get this $60 video game and be done with it in 3 days. You know, like, so it's always been weird to me how people prioritize and rationalize to themselves where they should or shouldn't spend money. But what happened during the pandemic for a lot of stores is they realized they were making equal or more money by shifting, one, you know, their priorities, and two, the product selection that they carried. And it happened for a lot of stores. So as we came out of the pandemic, they're like, okay, cool, we're going to run tournaments, but they're just going to have this entry fee on them. You know, we're willing to run this, but these are the hours, right? And a lot of the people got used to just having their way, weren't happy anymore. But it's like, your stores don't care because they're more profitable now than they used to be, right? Because they figured out the old business model didn't work. The only reason people followed the old business model is because they didn't understand the numbers and they didn't. Because I always tell people, look at the biggest and best performing stores, even the online stores, whatever, like your Card Kingdoms, your Star Cities, your Tales of Adventure, your whatever, right? They're not deep discounting and going crazy or whatever. They're just this price, quality service, fast shipping, whatever, and it's good. But people pay for it for a reason. Same thing at your local stores, right? Things cost that way for a reason. If you want a nice store with a good working AC and nice comfortable chairs and well lit with good staff and whatever, like that costs something. And there are a lot of stores that still do budget drafts and whatever, and they will never grow, and they probably won't be around in 5-6 years, or at least not in a state of thriving, And I've seen it time and time again. The number of stores that people tell me about, hell, people in my own town where I had my store, my business, weren't even aware of how many other stores came and opened and closed because they were there and gone so quickly. And I went and checked almost every one of them out. And I would say all but maybe one or two, I went, yeah, they won't even be around in 6 months. Because they were like, oh, we're going to come in, we're going to undercut everybody, we're going to do this and blah, blah, blah. And it never works. I tell people, look around. The stores that do that are not still around today. They're just not. There might be, there's probably some outlier somewhere. But on a grand scheme, on a grand scale, most of them have failed. Judge John says there are 8 stores now in the town where you had your store. Yeah, and this is a crazy. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. There's a very interesting thing where before I acquired the store, the previous business owner and at the time, the other 2 comic book stores that also sold some magic, there was like this crazy hatred between the 3 of them. And it was very serious dislike. Like they each spent more time worrying about how to screw each other over than they probably should have back in the day. And when I took over, I just went and introduced myself to each of the business owners. I was like, hey, here's the deal. Here's what I do. Like, if you want to promote stuff, you want to be part of my... Hell, even when I ran my convention, I offered them a table or a booth if they wanted it, whatever. And everything was good, And even when I sold my business, I sold it to an employee of one of those other shops. I even talked to them about it before I even made the offer to them. I said, like, hey, here's what we're thinking. Is this cool with you? So, everything was good. And then, for whatever reason, once I was gone, it was just bad blood left and right. And then I guess I was the linchpin holding everything together because then everybody else wanted to open up stores and compete, and it was a whole thing. And, good luck to all of them, honestly. And some of them are old customers of mine that are opening up a couple of those stores. So, I hope they somehow all do well, but that's crazy. 8 stores in that population base. They're all going to probably end up diversifying into different things, but if it works, I guess. But that's always been a weird thing to me. Actually, can y'all guess in the chat, like, what metro area had some of the highest number of game stores? As of actually, it would have been like around 2019 is the last numbers I remember. But I don't think people are aware of just like what metro area actually has the most stores, which is absolutely nuts when you realize where it is. What's there? I think Atlanta has about the right number. Ton of game stores in Seattle Metro. Not Seattle, actually. But there are quite a few in the Pacific Northwest. Seattle, Portland, that whole region. Vancouver, but no, not them. Believe it or not, it's actually in the Phoenix to Scottsdale area. And for whatever reason, and honestly, low key, people don't know, like, some of the best stores in the country. There's a couple down in that area that are great. Like they look like bookstore, like mainstream big box bookstores that just happen to sell nerd stuff. Like just really nice stores. But for some reason, people keep opening up stores there. Like, I don't even understand. Like, why would you open up a store in an area where you're like, I don't know, number 20 or 25? Oh no, Twitch is trying to, or OBS is trying to sabotage me. Yeah, so Clockwork Games, I think is 2011, 2012, something like that. They've been around a long time. But yeah, they're one of the long tenured stores down there. And they're good people, the folks that run it. Like they're really nice folks. But yeah, it's a weird thing. You know, I tell people, even now I have a lot of people ask me, do I miss the game store business, whatever? Like there's people and moments, but not really as far as operating the business. I've actually decided if I were to ever do something like that again, I'd rather just buy into somebody's business for like 10% or something and just do all the creative stuff, the marketing, the promotion, the website stuff, whatever. You know, make all the deals with the vendors, all that, and then just leave day-to-day operations to the actual owners. Like I don't have any desire for that. Like I decided long ago, I'm good. You know, like I've done what I'm gonna do. I don't I put in my time. Because I don't think people realize I did that from the time I was 21 till I was like 36 or so, 37 by the time I left. So like I put in my time, man. I don't need that day to day for that anymore. And I get it. For some people, owning a business is a big deal. Operating a business is a big deal. Like I totally get it. But I think because I did that so long from a young age to now, I just don't have the need to run a game store. I still like it though. I like the puzzle solving. Like when I walk in other people's stores, I have the thoughts of like, man, if I had the money to just do like a weekend, like they do those bar makeover shows or whatever, like man, just give me 3 days and I could make this store into a situation that they would make, you know, $5,000 more a month or whatever. Because there's several, even up here. Like I just walk through and go like, man, they're doing so many basic things wrong that like it wouldn't take me long to fix this. You know, that's the type of store where I'd love to just go, hey, how much would it cost me to buy 5% or 10% or whatever, just so I could get it to where it is. Just like bring in my expertise, help people out. You know, that's what I would love to do. That's probably what I would do if I had a bunch of money. I wouldn't start a bunch of new businesses, but I would either partake in aspects of other people's business already exist or help people start their dream jobs or whatever. Because I don't really need to do it, but it'd be cool to see other people do it. You know, I could live vicariously through them because I already kind of did what I need to do otherwise. So I wouldn't feel like it's doing anything for me. I wouldn't be achieving much. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with OBS right now, so I'm hoping it holds up. If it falls apart here, I'll just end the stream. I don't know. But yeah, so a couple of videos are up right now. I did one. There was just a big Japanese tournament last week. It was 363 people. I broke down what standard looks like now based on that tournament, since that's the first big tournament that's been out. The variety of decks, what you can expect, because you're going to see all that on the ladder, I guarantee you, over the next 2 weeks, because that's the only big tournament right now. Especially since there's not going to be anything going on in the States because of Thanksgiving. So, and I think next week you have the World Championships, but that's only going to kind of sort of be representative of the format because it's going to be a smaller, you know, tournament. So I don't even know if we'll see anything new out of it. People tend to play it safe in those events. So yeah, I think this is going to be the only big one for a couple of weeks. And then you have Christmas, you know, a couple of weeks after that. So it's coming up pretty quick. We won't even. This has been a really strange standard format because you had a banning, but it was basically banning on the Monday before we started talking about Avatar because the streamer event and all that stuff, right? Then you had pre-release. Then the thing went live on Arena, and then we just had everybody buying it in the store. And then you finally had a tournament, and people don't realize like that's the first time we've even had a big major tournament post bannings, right? So it'd been 2-3 weeks. Then that happened. And then we're not going to have another major thing for 3-4 weeks. Like I said, Worlds is going to be the other data point we have. And then we get into January. But then at the end of January, we're going to be talking about Lorwyn at that point, right? So very small window for this to kind of be its own standard thing because of the holidays, basically having 2 holidays in the middle of its run kind of jumbles things up a little bit. So it's a weird time. It's a weird time. I don't know what to make of it, honestly. But what we did learn, standard's pretty diverse. There is a lot of Badger Mole Cub right now, and that doesn't surprise us. We expected to see that. But the fact that there were good control decks, good combo decks, good mid-rangey decks, varieties of aggro stuff, there's tempo decks, there's decks that aren't even using new cards, right? Stuff that you could play from 2 seasons ago that are still good. There was a Pirates deck that made top 32. There was 1 or 2 Smuggler Surprise decks, like things like that you're just like, oh, this is still a deck, I guess. Delirium's still a thing. So very interesting overall what the format looks like. So for everybody that says like, oh, it's just Badger Mole decks and control, like that's not the case. Hell, you can watch my videos. That's totally not the case. That's not what we're running into. Grizzly says, I am in Richmond, Virginia area, and our LGS community has no concept of customer service. I operate a very successful business that is primarily concerned with customer service, and I'm always mind-boggled at the lack of care for the customer base that these stores have. Yeah, it's a weird thing when it comes to game store customer service, because on the one hand, I kind of get it, because there's some areas where the player base and the customers just don't give a damn. Like, they just show up trying to get a deal, trade some cards in. They don't care about the community, whatever. And then there's others where the player base is the exact opposite. Like, they thrive in the fact that they want there to be a community, right? They want there to be a place they can go and hang out and meet friends and have a couple drinks and do this and that, whatever. And that, to me, somewhat is also reflected by the ownership, though. Because you get to set the standard. You get to set the expectation. It's why one of the things I always tell people, regardless of the type of business they're running, whatever rules you want to have in place, go one step harsher when you start. And no matter what you think people are going to say and not like your rules, whatever, start tough and you can loosen up. The problem is, if you come in like, oh, I'm going to try to be everybody's friend and we're going to have the best this and that, I'm going to be really lax and whatever, and then you try to tighten up, now people are going to be mad because you got them used to a place that's carefree, light on the rules, whatever. And like, you can't operate a business like that. And then you get weird things because now both sides have this animosity toward each other, and it's just not good. It's just not good. But yeah, there are definitely some areas where customer service is lacking, and I still visit stores around the country every year. Every time I travel to conventions, to MagicCons, to Command Fest, whatever, I try to visit local stores in the area. There's maybe that I know of 2 or 3 other people that have probably visited more, maybe 5 have visited more game stores than I have in the country. And I've literally been to them all across the country. And part of it is I just want to know what's going on. I want to see what different things are like. Especially when I had my shop, I was just like, let me see if there's any cool ideas of some things I'm not doing that I should be doing or whatever. And that was always really interesting to me. And it's funny because I've now reached a point where a lot of the people, I say a lot, like the people who know of me now in the industry haven't met me personally. Whereas before, I was going to all the industry stuff, the Gamma Trade Show, all these things. So a lot of people knew me in person. So when they see me walk in their store, at least 25, 30% of them are like, oh, hey, how's it going? Now while I'm still one of the admins of one of the largest online game store retailer groups, a lot of those people have not seen me in person or they don't recognize my face. So when I walk in, they're just treating me like the rest of their customers. So now I'm getting a real look at, oh, you're just like this all the time. Got it. And some of them, I've wrote letters to them, or like emails of just like, hey, just so you know, I stopped in your store the other day. Here's my background. Like, it was really disappointing to see this because, I had money in hand waiting to buy something, and your dude just ignored me and 2 other customers behind me. I ended up just putting myself down walking out. You just missed out on a $20 sale, And I don't think they realize it. And it's like, oh my God, like this other industry person came in and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, but it shouldn't matter that I'm an industry person or not, right? You should treat everybody equally. And I did that even with my customers. Like, there was a time, this is a fun story. There was a time where I had to go out of town for something. Oh, I think I was running an event or something. And normally I would run the Friday night stuff in my shop. But when I wasn't there, I had a business partner at the time and a couple of employees, and they would run it in my stead while I was gone. And something happened. I don't remember with the software or whatever. So they had to run it slightly differently. And I find out later that the players just acted totally unruly about it. Like, one, hey, just sometimes things happen, right? You make the most of it, you roll with it. But to treat people like crap because something changed, like you, even as a customer, you can't do that. So I just waited till the next Friday, and before the first round, I set everybody down, and I said, look, I was told those of y'all that played last week treated my partner and my staff like crap. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up front, you're going to apologize. And if you don't, we're going to drop you from the tournament, you pack your stuff, and I don't want to see you. And then I turned around and walked out. Everybody came out and they apologized, except for one person. And he was a long-time customer. He'd been coming in since he was probably, I think, 11 years old. And he's probably, I think, like 16 or so at that time. And he felt he didn't need to apologize because they were running it wrong. And I was like, cool, pack your stuff. And everybody was surprised because they were like, oh, like even him? He's a long-term customer. I was like, yep, you don't get to treat people like crap either just because you're a long-term customer. Don't care. Like, I had friends who came in the shop and they acted unruly. I kicked them out. They still got to come hang out and watch the wrestling pay-per-view that evening. You just couldn't come in the store. Those four walls are business. Right? And everybody who knew me knew that. Like, I treated family the same thing. You come in the store, this is business. We don't do that here. And I think more people need to adopt that, right? Like, yes, you're running a hobby store, a game store, a nerd shop, whatever, but it's still a business. You know what I mean? Like, you still got to do the business. And we're at the point now that our industry is a mature industry. Like, people have expectations now. You can't just open a game store with shoestring budget, you know, lawn chairs or whatever to sit in or whatever. You just can't do that anymore. That's just not acceptable because in most areas, less than 20 minutes down the road, 30 minutes down the road, there's some other option. So you got to be on top of it. And I think it's a good thing. You know, I still remember this tells you, I mean, you know, I was there when the rocks were soft, you know, but there was a time where when I went to try to get a loan from a bank for something, they didn't even understand the concept of a game store. Like, if you said you were in gaming, they assumed you meant like gambling, like slot machines and stuff. They just didn't even get it, you know, because our industry wasn't that mature. They knew about comic books, but the idea of a store that just sells like D&D books and board games and whatever, like, that was just a weird thing at the time. So it took a lot, even going to like the Small Business Association, explaining stuff and writing up, like, you had to make a whole, like, show a 3-year profit loss plan, blah, blah, all this stuff just to do anything. Now they kind of go, oh yeah, we get it. And, you know, you fill out some normal stuff with your assets and whatever, and you can probably get a loan now. So that's a good thing, right? And it's funny because I was just thinking about this earlier. I feel like I was one of the early people on a lot of things. And I feel like I took so many beatings. Like, I had to crawl so everybody else could walk, basically. You know, that's what it feels like. Even in the industry level, there's a bunch of things that we changed over the years. Hell, people don't even know I'm one of the people that's responsible for y'all being able to buy products at pre-releases. Like, that's a low-key little secret people don't know about. I'm also one of the people that came up with the first requirements for what was going to go into the companion app. Granted, they ended up making it after I was gone. You know, it came out like 3 years later after I'd left the company, but it's just cool that when I saw it, I'm like, oh, they put like 70-80% of the stuff in here that I was asking for. That's kind of neat. But man, I have all kinds of industry stories. I could do this all day. Like, maybe one of these days I'll just do a stream that's just game industry story time. And y'all can ask about a thing, and I probably have a story for it. Because, man, there are things. There's things that I probably can't tell y'all that I'm going to have to take to the grave with me. There's I will tell you this. There is one industry person, and I'm not going to say the name, but I will say he enjoys himself some of the spirits, and he got a little, not in a bad way, but he kind of made a little spectacle of himself one night. And I think he generally checks in with me when he sees me at events to just see if we're still cool, to see if I'm going to say something about it. Like, I don't, and I'm never going to. It's no point, right? My thing is, I honestly have a belief that if you're entertaining yourself in private, whatever, right? And if nobody's harmed, whatever. Who cares? You may had some bad judgment, whatever. No harm, no foul. I'm not going to say anything. But I do get that we live in a world where, on a professional level, you know, somebody's got some damn video or, you know, a drunk text or something you sent or whatever. Like, that could be the end of you. So I understand people being concerned about it. Hell, people forget Michael Phelps lost a few $1 million in endorsements because some dude was at one of his parties taking pictures of him smoking weed. And I'm like, man, if I'd have put a, I don't know if I'd put a bounty on him, but like, I'd have found out who it was. I would have paid somebody to find out who it was. Like, because why would you even do that, right? Like, you got invited, like, this is an Olympian, like a national icon. You got invited to one of his events at his place. And, like, for whatever reason, you're just like, oh, I'm gonna take this picture and I'm gonna go share this with the public. I'm gonna go share it with the news or put it on National Enquirer or wherever it first showed up. And it was like, why? What do you, hell, you could have showed him you had it and he would have paid you more just to not show it than they paid you to show it. Like, seriously. Like, oh man, come on. Like, some people are so short-sighted. It's so amazing to me. That's one of the reasons I like living in the Pacific Northwest. Is so much of the culture is very much like, you just do your thing. If it doesn't bother me and you're not harming anybody, I don't care. Right? If it don't involve me, not my business. And so many people have that mindset up here, and it is great. Let me tell you. Like, love it. Because people are still friendly. Like, you know, all the nerds are still social. You go to the game store, everybody still invites you to play games or whatever. So that's not the issue. It's just everybody's like, hey, we all just have crazy different lifestyles and we all do our things. And everybody's just accepting that everybody around them's weird, doing other weird things that they're not involved in. And that's just kind of it. You know, you'll see people in the mall. Like, I saw a dude just in a nice, it wasn't like an Armani suit, but, you know, a really nice business dress suit, holding hands with a woman who was like decked out with like cat ears and a tail and whatever. And they were just an item cruising through the mall, you know, like, and nobody even batted an eye. They kind of just nodded at him, kept going, right? Because cool, you do you, man. like, I don't know what that dynamic is. I'm sure there's a story there. Ain't my business, you know. And I love that because, man, if I was still back in Texas, oh my God, everything's a story. Everyone's trying to figure out everything. Everybody's trying to keep up with the Joneses. Nobody wants anybody to succeed that isn't part of their group, or it's a mess, man. It is crazy. Totally crazy. Kakita Rinsai says, hello, as a longtime player, just want to thank you for what you do. I took a 13-year break. Wow. That's about how long ago I played those tournaments we were doing commentary of earlier. And I appreciate your thoughts and view on the standard meta. Just want to thank you. Well, I appreciate that you appreciate those. Because a lot of, like, honestly, that standard video was like, I was looking at the tournament results and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get this done until the video's up the day after Thanksgiving. I stayed up till, I think, like 3 a.m. on Wednesday night working on that one. Just because I had to go through all the results, make sure I understood what all the decks were, set up OBS to record it, do all that, edit it, get it up there, you know. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. So I'm really glad that y'all like that type of stuff. Because I'm trying to put up, while the gameplay stuff is good and that's like the draw and whatever, I do want to have the good long-term evergreen things that people can check out. That's why I started doing the deck building series. You know, stuff like the building a sealed deck in 6 minutes, stuff like that. So I can just help people out, right? So help the players that just don't know. I mean, I tell people I've been around way too long playing Magic, so if I can share anything with people, great. I tell people I have played at the top levels. I wasn't a top tier player. I don't. Not. I mean, there was a point where I guess I probably could say I was technically, but I don't have like the accolades a lot of these other guys have. But I've played enough and I've met enough of them, and I've done my fair share, won money in a few events or whatever. That all right. I feel confident sharing my information with people. Oh, even if it's like I told somebody, like I'm not gonna lie to you and say like, oh yeah, I'm giving you top tier pro level information, but what I'm giving you is probably still steps up from where most people are ever going to get to. So if I can share that with people, that's still something, you know? And I get it. Like when I start playing new games, when I started playing Teamfight Tactics, that was just like a whole other language where I'm trying to watch these players that are, yeah, do this thing and you want to pair these and you want this AD carry to do this thing, but you need your frontliners to do blah. And I'm just like, okay, I kind of understand, but this is a lot. It's like and they don't have a person who's just like, okay, this is the new set of characters. Here's the basic breakdowns. If you build these teams, you want to look for these at this point in the shop at like level 3 or whatever. Like, I wish they had that. Like, if I had more time, I would make that type of video for Teamfight Tactics players. So I'm just trying to be that for Magic. That if you just stumble on Magic one day because of Universes Beyond, or I don't know, you have a sister, brother, cousin, whatever who's playing that gets you into it, and you're like, man, I don't know why my deck sucks, but like I don't know how to figure out my land stuff or whatever. Like, cool. Hopefully, I'm one of the videos you come across, and it helps you build better decks. Speaking of, the next one's going to be about not 3-color, but multicolor land bases is what we're working on. I think I have the notes for it already. I'm just now in the phase of trying to figure out how I want to present it. Like, do I need to show cards with certain mass casting costs to try to explain each thing or whatever? It's a little more awkward than the last one because you have to be a little more specific, because it's basically the premise is understanding how, for lack of a better explanation, the video will do a better job. It'll go into detail. But basically, it's figuring out how many colors of each land you need available to be able to cast a particular card or combinations of color on time. Basically. Like if I want to cast a thing that's red and blue on turn 4, then how many red or blue lands do I need to play to make sure I have at least one red and one blue on turn 4 or whatever, right? That's the premise of what it is. And because I think even that information is good for people. But one of the things I do run into is I get people say, "Oh, well, you should do this, and you should go into this level of detail on this," and it's like, no, I'm not going to go into stuff that's super nuanced. For 2 reasons. One, the people who want that are definitely in the minority. I know that 100%. I know the industry and the player base or whatever good enough to know that. Like, honestly, if you're not sure about that, just go ask yourself, why are the pros not the top creators? Because they have that information and people don't go looking for it, right? Most of what I do is going to be, I won't say totally top level, but maybe like first 3-step level things, right? After that, you can come watch individual gameplay videos. You can hop in the Discord or whatever, and we can break down stuff all day. But the other is that nuance type stuff takes way more detail to explain, and it's longer, like scripting, it takes longer to record, it takes longer to edit, and you're just not going to get as many views. Like, it's way more work for way less return. And there's a thing, too, I don't think players understand, is that I jokingly try to tell people the 2 groups of people who really need that type of content will never find it. Because one are the newest of players, but they don't even know what they don't know. So they don't know what terminology or even what their problem is to go try to research it, right? The other part is the people, and not to be demeaning to anybody, but they're the like RCQ tryhards who already think they're good enough, so they're not going to do the research to go watch to get better at the thing. Like, and I know a lot of them because I used to run into them all the time. Those are people that every time they lose, it's a bad beat. Their opponent got lucky. blah, blah, blah. Like, it's never like, I misplayed this thing, or I could have done this better, or, oh, I wasn't aware. It's never that. It's always something else. Those people, they're never going to go look up that video either. And they would know the terminology and the nuance and know what to find, but they're just not going to. They just don't. They don't care enough, right? That's just how it is. So that's the other problem, because people have said before, why don't you get more of that type of strategy content on YouTube? It's just a business decision. And like I said, the two groups who need it most are probably not going to watch it. So you're hoping that middle group goes and watches it, but they don't care about that. They want to just, what the average person wants, in my estimation, from years of research, working with Wizards, working with Card Kingdom, doing events, blah, 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 blah. Most players just want enough information that they feel confident doing the base activity, which is deck building and playing games of Magic for no stakes, but, playing ladder games or something, and not have a terrible experience in their short allotted time they have each week. That's all they want, right? I would just want to know when I build a deck that it's at least halfway decent, right? That I'm not just wasting time on wild cards that are just going to be trash because I built the deck all wrong, right? That's all they want. Hey, can I build this just a little bit better so maybe I can get 1 or 2 more wins in the hour and a half, 2 hours I have to play every week or whatever. That's all they want. They're not trying to break down the intricacies of this matchup and the perfect sideboard plan for this thing and this on the play and this on the draw and blah, blah. That's for the hardcore RCQ crowd, right? Like, the average player doesn't want that. The average player doesn't need it. Because, and I've talked about this before, like, we've seen that everybody I know who's in the game industry, it doesn't matter what company they work for, what game they make, whatever, they will all tell you that the extremely overwhelming majority of their player base will never even consider being a pro player. Most will never play a paid competitive event. They just don't, right? They'll like in Magic, they'll buy cards. On League of Legends, they'll buy all their favorite skins for their favorite characters or whatever, Hell, they'll travel to go watch other people play. But they themselves are never going to compete. There's not going to be part of that scene. So wasting time on that just doesn't have a return for people. But there are, and not just myself, I think there are a lot of other creators that if you took us aside or you hopped in the Discord or whatever the case is, like, we'll gladly help you and explain those nuanced things and help you be better. For anybody who wants it, information, yeah, we'll definitely share it. But if we have to make a decision on, do I make a video about the nuances of sideboarding on the play and draw and blah, blah, and all this stuff versus, like I said, like a multicolor mana base video or whatever, well, then it's easy, right? More people are going to care about a multicolor mana base than care about the hell. The majority of people who play Arena, there's more people who play best of 1 than best of 3. So even that has a shrinking target market, right? Your total addressable market for your video is already just smaller, is the other issue. So yeah, it's a whole thing. By the way, anybody who's been following or subscribing, I really appreciate it. Unfortunately, my notifications are off right now because OBS blew up for some reason earlier, and I had to just rebuild all my scenes, and that was one of the things I forgot to include. They will be back for the next stream, though, I promise. So I know some people are like, I probably subscribed, this dude didn't even acknowledge me or whatever. Or didn't give me the Roman Reigns, the little one, right? Like, but I feel you. I'm not ignoring you. I just don't know you did the thing. I'll know once the stream's over and I can see all the things pop up or whatever. But yeah, it's an interesting time in Standard right now. I think there are a lot of Badger Mole Cubs. I think that is a real thing. But we have seen a lot of decks deal with Badger Mole Cubs. Oh, you watch my videos. We've had games against Badger Mole Cubs that we've won. It's just knowing that they're there and then understanding what the deck's trying to do, right? Are they just ramping up to just do like big Crater Hoof things? Or are they trying to set up some kind of weird combo? Are they using the lands as part of something else? So they're just really earthbending more than ramping. Right? Once you understand that, then you know kind of the way to tackle it or dance around it a little bit. But like I said, we saw other aggro decks. We saw control decks, combo decks. Hell, the fact that we had, I'm still blown away that 363 person event in their top 32 had just a regular plain old Is It Pirates deck, and a smuggler surprise deck. Right? The fact that those can still exist in a big standard environment, like you can't sit here and say, well, standard doesn't have any variety or diversity or whatever. Like that's totally not true. I mean, you could look up different events online and see the recent results, and there's several different decks in there. And I think in that top 32 video I made, did I link to 13 different decks or something in the top 32? So like that's a pretty good spread. You know what I mean? Like I don't, maybe it's not 13. That feels like a lot. Let me check cuz I don't want to be a complete liar cuz that feels like too many. Maybe it wasn't 13. I know it was a bunch though. Cuz I remember getting done and going like, "God, I feel like I've been clicking and posting." Let's see. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Oh, it was 13. So 13. Actually, I think there was 14 decks. But one of them was a really weird legend deck that I didn't talk about or link to because I did some sample tests of it and it was really bad. So I feel like that player just ran hot as the sun and made top 32, which happens. I mean, wouldn't be the first time that's happened for somebody. But 13, what I would call reasonably competent, viable decks out of 32 participants. Like, you can't complain about that. Now, granted, some of those decks had like 5 copies, some had 4 copies, some were the one-ofs or whatever. But the fact that they were even able to exist, and also, let's be real, how many of the Is It Pirate decks do you think were actually in that tournament? They were probably the only one. Maybe 2 if they had a friend that played the same deck. Same thing with like the Smuggler Surprise decks or whatever, right? So even then, they kind of were the outliers that just like braved the storm and still got there. So that makes it even more impressive in a way. Whereas some of the other decks, there was probably 20 people playing those or 30 people playing, and then like 3 of them made top 32 or 4 of them made top 30, you know? So their conversion rate was technically lower, you know, because more of the people playing it didn't do well. So yeah, so I don't, basically what I'm saying is I don't think standard is 100% solved right now. I think that, hell, y'all just watch my videos. I was just yesterday, I had the video with the dinosaurs in it that we were comboing reanimating dinosaurs on like turn 3. Like, there's dumb things that can happen right now that I don't think we've explored nearly everything at all. So have fun with it. If there's cards you want to play or ideas, feel free to hop in the Discord. If you're on YouTube, a link will be in the description. You can just come in there anytime. And we will always help you. We have a whole channel with the different formats and things. So if you want some help, we can do that. Or if you want to support me directly and you want private deck help, our level 3 YouTube membership actually has a private thing set up so you can get private deck help as well. So if you don't want to talk about it publicly and you're a little uncomfortable, embarrassed or whatever, that's the other option. And we can just do that and take care of you that way too. So yeah, options for everybody. Explore the dumb decks. Dude, I got stuff already loaded through Sunday, so there's going to be some decks. And I was just testing 2 more last night. So there's stuff incoming, let me tell you. But all right, y'all, we kind of accomplished what we wanted to today. We got to talk about some old tournaments from 2012 and 2013. So some cool standard environments that we hadn't seen in a long time. I kind of got to laugh at myself a little bit from back then. But yeah, if y'all like that type of stuff, let me know. We can do more of these in the future. Like I said, it'd be commentary over some other people's tournaments, you know, not necessarily mine. But there's probably some cool eras that I don't think people know about that just started playing. Just say like, hey, let's take a look at this standard environment from the pandemic that people forgot about. You know, let's look at this one after the, the Jace bans or whatever, right? With the Call Blade stuff. What did that cool new standard look like? Or there's a lot of different eras of Magic that I think would be interesting to watch a match or two from and kind of jog everybody's memory. But yeah, I'm going to go grab my teeth. I'm going to finish working on OBS because apparently it's still having some issues. So hope we can have all that straightened out by the next stream. But otherwise, I really love y'all and appreciate y'all. I really do. And thank you for anybody who's been supporting, donating, any of that fun stuff. Really, really, really appreciate it. It helps so very much. But I know some of y'all just got done dealing with family for Thanksgiving. But always, wherever you're watching or listening, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Take care of yourselves and your family. Remember to be awesome. And most importantly, be awesome to each other.